cut something out or whatever.
Do I have any rules in my
not here.
I can if I cuss, I'm okay.
Fuck shit, damn hell, you play all the good stuff.
I try to keep it cool, but I'm a jarhead, right? So
I don't filter my guests. I don't to be nasty.
I love it, dude. I love that.
That's kind of why I don't really have a script for the show either. It's unscripted and just kind of fly by the seat for fans, man.
We can do it. We can talk. New shorties are running my mouth.
Let's get this show in a row, man.
Do it.
All right, lead heads. We are back with another episode of the Talking Lead podcast. I have no idea what episode number this is, but if you didn't get an opportunity, make sure you go back to the previous episode, which I'm pretty sure was our Talking Lead AK Corner. We do this special segment. Ooh, I mean, you can't see because my background. I got to change my background if you're watching on video, lead heads. And it was turn off. Choose that. And look, I got people calling me too. I should have turned that off. All kinds of shit going on here. The AK Corner. Ba-boom. Where we talked about the Uzi. We didn't talk about AKs. We took a break from AKs, but we talked about the Uzi, the Israeli Uzi. We had IWI US on, Tom Alabrando. And we learned a lot of new things about the Uzi that we didn't know about. And probably some things that we shouldn't have learned. But Tom was a great guest, so make sure you go back, check that episode out. And the next episode next month, shoot me your comments, your questions on guests that you'd like to have and topics you want us to cover. I'm almost afraid to hit this X. I don't know if it's going to share everything. I'm going to hit it. Okay. We still there? Okay, good. I'm not a real good technical guy, man, as you can tell. So we may have to reconnect at points. But joining me this episode, guys, it's going to be a great episode. We've got Jason Swarr with Skillset Magazine. He's the editor, the creator of Skillset Magazine. He's a retired, former, what do you like to call it? You're always a Marine, so you're
always a Marine. Just retired Marine. That's how I feel right now. Very. Yeah. I'm feeling old, man.
20 plus years in the Marines.
Yeah, 20 years and a month. I did the minimum, right? So but yeah, I was 1991 to 2011, and then I pulled chocks, man. I was like, I'm out. I took off and started a new life of I went and contracted. Well, first off, back up.
Let's back up. Rewind.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Absolutely, man. This is awesome. I've really been looking forward to having you in particular, but I've been trying to get somebody from Skillset on the show for a while, so I'm really excited about this. I'm gonna geek out, dude.
No, that's gonna be great, man. This is gonna be good. And then I might have to join you one of these days on these AK corners, man, because I'm a diehard AK guy. I don't know if you knew that.
Absolutely. You'll love it, man. We have a good time on that episode. So we get people like Jim Fuller on and Travis Haley, and
nice. No, that's awesome. Yeah, I've thinned down my AK collection to about 30 AKs right now. So
okay, that's running low for you, right?
Yeah. But I've actually, I've had the crown jewel in my possession. I've had for about 5 years. I had a Type 1 AK for about 5 years, and then I eventually sold it because it's one of those things you move on, right? You hold it, you show it off as much as I put it in like 3 or 4 different magazines, and then finally I'm like, all right, it's time to pass the torch to someone else. But yeah, I'm a diehard AK guy, legacy type of AK guy.
I'm sure it'll probably come back around into your life again sometime.
Oh, I'm going to get it again. There's no doubt.
There you go. I'm sure you probably traded for something that was even just as badass as that,
Yeah, a lot of money. How about that?
Hey, that'll buy you all the badass you want right there.
Yeah, definitely, man. But no, thanks for having me on the show, dude. And like I said, so retired out of the Marines, and contracted overseas a little bit, and then teaching guys, Arabs, how to jump out of airplanes. And
were you one of them BW guys?
BW.
Blackwater?
No. I went a different route. I went to it's my last duty station in the Marines. So I was a military freefall instructor. So I was teaching guys to jump out of airplanes. So it's an Army school down in Yuma, Arizona. Believe it or not, Special Forces school. But they have 8 recon slots down there for Marines because we send you send our guys down there. So that was my last duty station. So you wake up every day and jump out of airplanes 6 to 8 times a day, working with the Army. It was
How are those knees?
they're a little hurting, man. I ain't gonna lie. In the back, I got about almost 3,000 jumps under my belt, man. So
holy shit, dude.
It's a lot. It's a lot, man. But it was fun. But when I retired, I went and I contracted, like I said, doing that. I was teaching Arabs overseas to jump out airplanes. I didn't teach them completely right, though. You know, America, right?
Apparently, because they didn't jump out in New York, they should have jumped out.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah. So I did that, but then I came back here and I worked with CAG a little bit, doing their courses once these guys finished their OTC and then Dev Group and teaching those guys how to free fall and whatnot. And then finally, I never forget, I was on like a 25,000 foot night hey-ho, which is in the winter is fucking cold. Excuse my language, but it was fucking cold. It was like -30 when we exited, right?
Oh shit.
In a hey-ho, so you get out, immediately pull your chute, and now you travel on the canopy with a bunch of guys, right, for like 45 minutes. And I was just dying, and I was, you get frostbite, and I'm sitting there going, what the hell am I doing? I'm retired, dude. What am I doing this shit for? Right? I land, boom, come down, talk to the sergeant major. I'm like, it's been real. I'm out. I don't know what the hell I'm going to go do. I'm going to go do something, man. So
fuck this.
yeah. So I used to jump with a camera on my head a lot, right? A still camera, when you put a light switch in your mouth, and you just chew down and you take a bunch of pictures. Occasionally you get, most of the time you just get a guy's foot in the camera, and that's it. But
his nostrils.
Yeah, you get this great guy. This guy's diving out, looks great. And I was like, hey, that's pretty badass. I go, why don't I just be a photographer? I mean, how hard could that be, right? So I'm one of those dudes that I need like overhead. I need money on top of me going, you need to get working to get me working. So I went and got like a 2,000 square foot studio, bought a camera, some lights, and I'm like, all right, I got about 6 months of living free before
6 months of head camera shots out of an airplane, and you decide you just want to get into the photography business.
Yeah. So I went to the school of YouTube, right? I mean, like I gotta learn this shit, right? And
you can learn anything on YouTube.
100%. I laugh.
I mean, it not be right, but you can still learn.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure, man. I get guys all the time, knocking on my door, wanting to be part of straight A photography, right? And they're like, hey, can I, I got a 4-year photography degree, and I'm like, why? Why did you go to school to learn how to shoot photography, man? You know what I'm saying? I learned everything on YouTube, man. And, I kind of took a little different approach on that too. I took, I made like, you see what the Call of Duty covers, right? The old, video game covers look like, right? So I learned how to do that. Real dynamic, over the top, explosions, shit flying everywhere. And I learned it. It took me about 6 months to really learn that Photoshop technique and all the lighting. And I took it to the gun industry, and it worked. They loved it. They freaked the fuck out, right? And hired me, and I've been employed ever since. I probably shot over 250 gun magazine covers. I've done tons of ads, worked for a lot of them. But eventually I was like, you know what? Because I can't do something for more than like 3 or 4 years and I get bored as hell. I don't know why. Maybe that's the Marine in me. I just short attention span. I eat crayons.
I don't know, man. I think it's just the alpha male in us. It's like, hey, I've got this conquered. Now what can I conquer?
Yeah, maybe. Right. I just I want to keep moving, man.
I know a lot of people that are that way.
Yeah, for sure. So, working for all these magazines and, mainly most of them all gun magazines and whatnot.
Yeah. Doing freelance kind of stuff.
Yeah. Just doing covers for Recoil, Ballistic, all the basically the Athlon outdoor titles and stuff like that. And then finally I'm like, man, how hard could it be to make my own magazine, right? I mean, I don't know. So once again, back to the school of YouTube.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You go buy a warehouse. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, no shit, right? So I partnered up with my assistant editor, Ben Turpak. And then, believe it or not, I always tell everybody goes, Jason, you're the guy who started Skillset. I want to back it up. Actually, a girl named Gina Marie. All right. She's another former Marine. She was literally my boss. She's the one that bought the thing, paid for everything, said, Jason, Ben, go do something fucking cool with this magazine and make it. Yeah. So a girl started Skillset Magazine. She's bad.
That's awesome. I did not know that.
Yeah, for sure. And
is she still involved with it today?
Absolutely. So we did our
Gina Marie.
Yeah, Gina Marie. She's an Italian girl. She's mean, man.
All you had to say was Italian.
Yeah, right. You never want to piss her off, man. But she's awesome. She's she had faith in us, and which was cool because we needed faith, right? And she funded everything and made shit happen. But 2 years into it, I think on our 8th or 9th issue, we got bought, man, by Athlon Outdoors. So really, Athlon A&G Parade is what they're actually the big, I guess, umbrella
parent company. Yeah.
Yeah, they're the largest publisher in America, and
based out of Nashville.
Okay, all right, you know exactly right, exactly.
Nashville, Tennessee, yeah.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah. So it's pretty awesome. So they said, hey, they like what we're doing, and they basically took our distribution up to over 100,000 copies per issue, and really gave us a lot of legs, and let us do our thing. You know, they didn't handcuff us, which we were really worried about. Like, oh, here comes corporate, right? You know,
yeah,
and all that stuff. Yeah, we got to abide by a few rules when it comes to the covers, and it's not really them. It's more of the today's censorship type of things, right?
Sure.
You know, they're Kroger's, which owns every grocery store in America, by the way. So we're pretty much almost
K. Rogers, yeah,
yeah.
We call him K. Rogers.
Kroger's is very K. Rogers. I like that actually. You
never heard that? Yeah.
No, and I grew up in West Virginia. You think I'd fucking know that shit, right? They're not very gun friendly if you don't know that. So you're not allowed to have any guns besides a pistol. They'll do a pistol on their cover. So if you have a rifle, an AR, what does it matter on their cover? Any magazine-fed weapon, they will not allow that in their stores. Believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah. So
you know what I say to them?
Yeah, that's what you know exactly what I.
Fuck Kroger.
I say the same shit, right? So we run into little censorship issues. In fact, it's funny because
are they still doing that?
Yeah,
Kroger's still doing that.
100%.
I don't really ever go to Kroger to get magazines
right.
anyway, but I do notice they do have like a magazine section, but I've never gone through their magazine.
Go to a bookstore or whatever, and that's why I understood. Yeah. You know, people were like, well, hey, Kroger's is like half our distribution, right? And I'm like, why do people you go to a grocery store, you buy magazines? I never did, but whatever, so.
Well, I guess they do have them like at the checkout, those impulse buys. So they've got them sitting there because I'll thumb through like the Inquirer and shit, while I'm waiting.
Big money to be there, to be in
the
that
lady with the 2 carts in front of me. Yeah.
yeah. I wish we could be right at the checkout, but you're not making.
So they pay money for that shit.
Oh, they pay big money.
To be at the checkout. Okay.
You pay money to be, you ever been to like a Barnes and Noble or Books A Million or what are these bookstores? Yeah. And they always have like we call it end caps. So you got the big line of books, that go out there, and then you had the end where you just have a couple magazines. Mm-hmm. You pay out the ass for that right there, that spot, man. So it's just,
I didn't realize that. So you pay for placement even in bookstores and
absolutely, yeah, just to be up front a lot. You got, so so we always buck the system. We tell people we have a little hashtag fronting it, right? So if you ever see our magazine, it's tucked in the back behind Gay Times and all this other shit, right? So we ask you to grab them and lay them out front, man. They can't come at us for that, man. So
that's right.
Yeah. So
if somebody moves it for you, then hey, it's
exactly.
It's out of your hands. Yeah, I can't.
It actually works out really well, man. And they take a picture, we throw it in the magazine, we throw it up on our website, we throw it up, and all that stuff. So it's kind of a cool little.
Until they send you an invoice for it.
Right. And I'm like, I didn't authorize that shit. What are you talking
about? Come on, son.
But we did. So we've been with them for 2 years now, 2.5 years now, going strong, and we hope to keep it going. Print business is tough, man. It is no joke.
Well, that's something I was going to ask you. Even when you got into this, I mean, the print business was kind of going to the shitter. Yeah, especially in the the firearms industry. Sure. With all just like Kroger and Walmart. It's like, if you got this and this, then we're not gonna. You can't come into our stores. So
right.
I mean, that was a ballsy move at the time. And of course, I've read some things, in your thinking on, we're not going to be a gun magazine. We're going to be a lifestyle magazine. So talk about that in your strategy and, kind of avoiding the firearms, but yet still being able to implement the firearms into your 100%,
man. And that was our intent the whole time. There's enough gun magazines. Why make another? You know what I'm saying? I mean, at first that was our intent to do a gun mag because it's just what we know. I mean, we're all firearms enthusiasts. We love the Second Amendment. Even Gina Marie, she said. But then we're like, well, wait a minute. I mean, you got the big boys, the recoil, the ballistics, and we got to compete against those guys. But then I was like, well, why do that when this may shock people, but there's more to life than just guns 24/7. I know. Go ahead and.
I mean, it all ties in somehow, some way.
Yeah. Well, and that's what we said. It's like, I enjoy guns more than anybody, and I think my whole staff does. But I also enjoy, MMA. I also enjoy, skydiving. I also enjoy other alpha lifestyle.
Watches and
yeah, perfect.
Shoes,
guys do motocross, or we did a demolition derby, and that was actually fun as hell, by the way. My first time ever doing a demolition derby. We actually built a car out, did a whole thing. But there's stuff like that. That was Yeah, my neck's a little still sore from that, but it was it was pretty wild. We got in about 10, 15 car crashes. That was pretty.
I mean, that's the object of a derby, right?
It is, man. And I didn't realize, when you make your car super fancy and you have all these, you have like, $15,000 of sponsors, people get jealous. People get pissed off, and you become a target. Yeah, I got my ass handed to me, man. But it was fun, I mean, I was getting side swiped. I was getting broadsided by everybody, and I was like, all right, bring it, fuckers. All right, this is good.
I kind of thought I sponsored a derby car there for a while. We were actually in the NASCAR Camping World Series, the Truck Series.
Oh wow!
We got our logo on a truck.
No shit.
And, I don't know. Can you see the logo?
I do. Yeah.
So we got bullets and a bullet hole and a bullet microphone.
That's cool.
They made us take the flying bullets off. They made us take the bullet holes off.
Yeah.
But they didn't catch the bullet microphone.
I like that. The casing. Yeah, that's good, man.
So we got it. We actually got it on a NASCAR truck, and for like 3 races, and he wrecked in every one of them. It was awesome. But it wasn't just like a spin out wreck. I mean, it made like the cover of the newspaper and the mag. Yeah, and our logo was right there on fire. It was great.
Oh, I love that. Dude. You can't ask better marketing than that, right?
Yeah, it was like, yeah, this is awesome.
I know, right? That's why I tell people, like, we sponsor a few MMA fighters, right? And we, people look at the front of a fighter and they're like, why isn't your logo on the front? I'm like, hell no, I put it right on the ass, because that's where most of the time you'll see that, right? The guy's down, getting choked out, even if he's getting choked out, right?
You don't ever see their front except at the end of the fight where they're standing there and they hold up
100%, there. Yeah, right. So I was like, I went on the ass cheeks. I want to, and sure enough, we've got more exposure that way than anything. So
awesome.
Yeah, pretty wild, man. So
are you doing like the Dana White MMA stuff, or what do you do?
Well, that's a lot of money to go into UFC, right? To be sponsoring that. That's Black Rifle Coffee money right there. I don't have that. No, we're doing. We've been sponsoring a few Bellator fighters, which is kind of the next level down, from UFC and whatnot.
Bellator's, they're up and coming big time.
Yeah, they're great. They're great. One of my best friends is Ryan Bader, is one of the champions in Bellator right now, and all that stuff. We got one of our writers, Sully Cully, is actually he writes for us constantly. Fucking writes a ton of stuff for us. He's a Bellator fighter.
Is that his real name? Sully Cully?
Sully, yeah, Sullivan Cully, but Sully Cully.
Sully Cully, that's awesome. Yeah.
He's a big giant meathead. I love the guy. He's just awesome. And his first Bellator debut knocked the guy out in 20 seconds. Where it was great. So he gave us a lot of props. Yeah, skill set across his ass cheeks and
sweet
that stuff. So, but yeah, so it was cool. But yeah, doing a lifestyle magazine. But I grew up in I'm 48, so I'm getting.
I'm 50.
Oh, okay, good. You're older than me then. All right. So you remember Maxim
Magazine? Of the 80s.
Right? Maxim Magazine in the 90s was fucking awesome. It was the magazine, right? It's been sold like 16 times. Now it's just kind of, I don't know what it is, right? But
it was like a cover for Playboy. It was like a disguise for a Playboy.
Right. Yeah. But Maxim had all the cool trivia, it had this, all this stuff. And I was like, I missed that, being in the Marines on deployment, before, your cell phones and all that shit, you grab a magazine, stuff it in your ruck, that's what you're going to read on a plane or wherever, on a ship or whatnot. And that was one of the magazines. I thought it was cool. And they don't have a good men's, I say a men's magazine, but, that style magazine anymore. So we're like, well, let's create one. We'll see if there's an audience. And sure enough, man, we labeled it an alpha lifestyle, because I just want to tailor it to men, because there's a lot of badass women out there, that are really doing some kick-ass things. And
the alpha lifestyle just doesn't apply to men.
No, definitely not, man. Yeah. It's everybody who gets off the couch, does something above and beyond, vice just sucking up a government check, welfare or whatever. Right? Getting out there and doing something with your life, because we all got an hourglass, right? And you being 50 and me being 48, we're on the wrong end of that hourglass, right? So you got to make every minute count, right, and all that stuff. So and that's what we try to put in our magazine. First off, life's too short not to have a good time, so we do a lot of humor, if you haven't noticed that, right? So we try to throw.
That's what I like about it.
Yeah, even at the beginning of our magazine, you have what's called insider info, and it's useless bar trivia type of shit that you can read in about a second and regurgitate it when you're half shit faced at somebody. Did you know the whale's vagina is whatever, right? So we have a lot of that, and then we cover, just a broad range of everything. Like I said, a lot of military. I like to give shout outs and to veterans to go out there and do something that's above and beyond as well. Even in the firearms industry, guys and girls that are out there kicking ass and doing things, and and just wherever, man. We've done base jumpers, we've done everything, So
And this weekend, being Memorial Weekend, I mean, it's a great time for that. Yeah.
Cheers. Yeah. Hats off.
So happy Memorial's Day and weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Remember all the guys that really gave that ultimate sacrifice, because that's what it's about, man. And these and I'm not one of those guys that get all soft and angry and shit like that. I mean, I've lost 17 friends total, and I've been in 20 years, so that's that's about right, especially going through a couple wars. But these dudes and girls and guys out there that it's you're doing this for minimum wage. I always tell people that you're not getting paid shit. You're out there, and when they catch a bullet, lose a leg, get blown up or something like that, now you're just a memory in someone's on someone's Instagram post. So I want to do above and beyond to that. So. Yeah, definitely out there. I'm not, once again, I'm not trying to bring down the tone of this thing, but it's
no, absolutely, and that's something that I wanted to key in on today too. Was a lot of people forget about Memorial Day and what it's about. You know, and having you as a 20-year Marine veteran on the show today, and living the lifestyle that you're living. I've heard some of your stories also. Sure. You're very humble about it, and I think people need to know the reason why we have Memorial Day, why it exists, and how it exists, and that's something that people shouldn't take lightly. Definitely,
I agree, and I always tell people, I mean, what should I do for Memorial Day? Nothing. All you need to do, man, just take a minute, man, tip your hat, give a look up in the sky, just give a shout out, to the guys out there that, girls that actually gave their life, man, their sacrifice. So, we can live how we're living now,
Yeah, I think there's actually at 3 p.m., whatever your local time is, 3 p.m., there's like a moment of silence that, people, that's awesome. That people recognize. I don't know if the government started that or who started that, but, I heard something about that.
Yeah, just do something, man. Teach your child, teach your wife, your husband, or teach if they're not kind of, especially the children, because right now you all know what they're getting taught in schools and all that shit, right? So, I make a point. My kid's it's pretty obvious because she's actually, she's dad's a Marine and all that stuff. But her friends, I won't preach to them, but I'm like, hey, let me explain what Memorial Day is. It's not about barbecue and getting shit faced. So I go. And I explain it within a minute, and it was like they shake their head. At least they know they can go on and hear that, And maybe
that's how you honor, those men and women who sacrifice their lives is exercise your rights, your freedoms that you have. Go to the range, go shoot your gun, go to the pool, take your boat out, sit down and watch the Friends reunion. If that's what you want to do.
Sure. Yeah.
That's what it's all about. But at the same time, remember why you have those rights.
For sure.
Why we're not sitting, in a 3x3 cell block and letting people put us to work, and we can only have so many children, and it's
100%. Yeah, and if you don't,
it's just things we take for granted. A
lot of people take it for granted.
Take them for granted this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
But know why. Why you have it.
There's if you're wondering what freedoms you got, just look at the hundreds of thousands of people that are pouring into our country right now, right on the border. They're not coming. You don't see them pouring into China, right? You don't see them pouring into North Korea, right? They're pouring into the freest country in the freaking world, man. And
see them pouring into Canada, but then they get shipped here.
Yeah, shit.
Because they know they're going to get shipped here. So.
Yeah. So we got a lot of good stuff going on in America, and a lot. I mean, I know times are weird right now and all that shit, but times always get weird, right? And we'll prevail. I know we will. We'll stay strong one way or another. But yeah, man, that's
so. Speaking of the borders, you guys did a thing on. I think you did a podcast on that.
Correct. Yeah, so Sheriff Lamb and
so this will be a good segue to our trains and planes segment for our jack wagons and our lead head brigade heroes that I was telling you about earlier.
Yes.
So Arlie Ermy is the conductor of our jack wagon train. Who better to keep those jack wagons in line with the Gunny himself.
Yes, sir.
So Gunny, bring that train in.
Hoorah, Semper Fi, do or die, hold 'em high at 8th and I. It is time for the Talking Lead Jack Wagon of the Week, so brace yourself, baby.
That's cool.
Oh, yeah. It was pretty badass meeting him.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
All right, so the Gunny has stationed the train, and we got a few jack wagons that we want to talk about. And I thought that would be a good one to start off with. From the Skillset Live podcast, you guys had the sheriff.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Sheriff Lamb, Mark Lamb.
Yeah, Mark Lamb on your podcast talking about the,
I mean,
what people really don't know about the problems with these illegal immigrants coming in.
Yeah.
Down there.
But,
they're having.
Sheriff Lamb, you guys have probably seen it. If you haven't seen the American Sheriff, they call him online, and he's he's got TV shows and all that stuff. The guy is genuine, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, as a friend of this guy, I've talked to him. He's been in my studio a dozen times. He is hardworking as hell. I mean, this guy hardworking as hell. And yeah, he's in the media spotlight a lot, but I'm glad he is, because we need some guy like that who is pro-Constitution in law enforcement, will not enforce unconstitutional laws, right? Mm-hmm. He'll be the first guy to tell you right on Fox News, any news. He'll tell you, I'm not going to enforce, unconstitutional gun laws, Right. I love that, right? But on the border, yeah. So his county is one county up, right, from the border. So people are like, well, you're not on the border. But people don't understand. When you cross the border, you just don't hang out there. You know what I'm saying? They immediately head north, right? So and head all straight into his county, which his county is the highest cartel traffic, illegal traffic county in America, I'd say, right? I mean, maybe Texas may have one or two down there that has some fight with them too. But it's And he is on the border. Him and Chief Deputy Thomas, which is another his number 2, are there fighting daily. And to have those guys come in and give a real account, hey, this is no shit. What's going on? Don't listen to the news. I'm telling you right now. And for them to do that on our show and just be dead honest, where I don't know, they get repercussions. I don't know, and they don't care. They'll do it because they need people to know the truth, man. And you can go back to.
Well, he's the type of guy that the hell with the consequences kind of. Kind of guy, this is the truth, and this is, what I believe in. I'm going to stand up for it, and we need more of those, especially in our, quote leadership roles.
I agree 100%. And I told him, I always tell him every time he comes in, I'm like, I appreciate you being a sheriff, but we need you at a higher level, right? Yeah. I'm like, we need his mentality in a Senate seat. Hell, I want him to run for president, if you ask me. I just believe in this guy that much, to the fact that he, when he get elected, I think he's too John Wayne to be elected. I think the liberal left will meltdown and have a Trump meltdown.
He's too active, I would say, to be a president. He needs to be the person that's behind getting the shit done, because presidents don't get shit done. They just they're just little hand puppets. Got hands up their ass,
Yeah, absolutely. So I hope he takes a higher level. We need it, I mean, whether it's a governor or a senator or something, man. I just he's got our mentality, and he has no problem fighting the fight, right? And even you get into politics, there's skeletons in the closet, right? And I'm like, he's already aired everything. He has a son that has some issues with drugs and whatnot. He puts it out there and whatever.
Who doesn't, right? Who doesn't?
He's human, man. But he doesn't try to hide it and BS it, people out there. He's like, here's our situation. Here's the daily struggle I have, with my family or whatever, and it's, I appreciate that, man. I think that's great.
I don't think people care as much about that anymore in today's society.
Sure.
Just because everybody's human. Everybody's got those. And like, how can this guy not have them? If he didn't, then I would be concerned about that motherfucker.
For sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
It's like if he doesn't have anything, he's got a clean slate. There's something wrong with him. There's something worse wrong with him.
Yeah. No shit. Something's up. Yeah.
If he's not had an affair, if he didn't do drugs.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a
Lamb,
killer.
Sheriff Lamb, man, he's as legit as they come. He's a daily fight, and he still has time to come hang out with little old me and and our guys here, and we appreciate him. So yeah, man, my hat's off to that guy. My big cowboy hat that he has the whole time, man. He's a good dude, man, and he's what we need in America right now, man, for sure.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. So go listen to that podcast episode with Skillset Live. Remember the?
Just like you said, I don't know what we're almost at 200 on Skillset Live. We had Skillset Overtimes. We're about close to 100. So.
Oh, you got two podcasts?
We did. We cut one because it was just too much. I mean, we couldn't keep track. So
shit, dude.
The old skill set overtimes were a little bit more just Ben and I just talking shit, having fun. So if you like that type of stuff, that's what you want to go for. If you like guests, that's their skill set live most of the time. But it wasn't that long ago. You can check back in the last year. You'll see Sheriff Lamb.
Yeah, they're on Spotify, iTunes, all the major podcasting apps there. But I did see that. It was like one of the more recent ones, I think.
For sure. Yeah. We try to get him in here about at least once or twice a year, to give us updates, especially when it comes to stuff that's happening like the border. I mean, that's big, or anything cartel related. Those are the guys that know, man. And they give us.
Well, we'd love to have him on this podcast. So next time
I will tell him,
get his ear.
Yeah, he'll be a great guest. He'll be a great guest, and him and, like I said, his number 2 Chief Deputy Matt Thomas. That guy is just awesome as well, man. And Matt's a little bit more raw, right? You're going to get the F-bombs from Matt.
Oh, that's fine. I've had James Yeager on here before, so
shit. All right, yeah.
We get lots of F-bombs. He's kind of cleaned it up though lately. So he's not as bad.
That's good.
But definitely, Sheriff Lamb is our hero. He deserves a ride on Lead Force 1.
Damn straight.
So our jackwagons get a ride on the jackwagon train, and our heroes get a ride on Lead Force 1.
Like that.
Yeah. So we're going to put Sheriff Lamb on the Lead Force 1, definitely.
Give him a first class seat, man.
And our pilot for Lead Force 1, Jason.
Yes.
Is the ghost of Charlton Heston.
Wow.
Not Charlton Heston, but the ghost of Charlton Heston.
I like
that's even more badass.
It is more badass. Take it from my cold dead hands. Wait, I'm already dead. Fuck it. Anyway.
Right? And I know you saw the Planet of the Apes movie growing up, right?
Of course, yeah.
So when they're walking through the desert
and
they're kind of losing their mind a little bit, and he breaks out into that laugh.
Yeah.
Like in the valley, and it starts echoing.
Yeah. I love that.
That's the sound effect I use for
the
ghost of Charlton Heston.
That's awesome, man.
I love that one. So there's our hero, and then of course, Biden with his laxed border laws, definitely a jackwagon.
Yeah,
no doubt about it. So I was going through the news, and I do this thing too, where I'll just periodically just read the headlines, for like Fox and CNN, and just kind of see what's trending.
Okay.
So I think the last time I did that, what was trending, it was like 2 or 3 episodes ago, was you could see, you could kind of see a theme, and it was cops shooting civilians, cops on trial for shooting, defund the police. That was kind of the big thing then. And was it yesterday or Friday? Maybe it was Friday when the anniversary for the George Floyd debacle was. And then they rioted again on the anniversary of the George Floyd thing. Of course, you didn't see a whole lot of media coverage on that at all.
Did you see the drive-by shooting during the newscast there?
Oh shit! No.
So they had, because the left-wing media tried to hide this as quick as possible. You can still find it. You go on Twitter or go on something. So they had, I saw it from 2 different angles, 2 different newscasters. They're out there giving they're in George Floyd Square, all right, and they're giving their little 5 minutes talk through and all that stuff. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, pop, 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 and the guy's like, and he's trying to keep on with the broadcast. All of a sudden, pop, pop, pop. It's a gun battle behind them, like a block behind them.
This is like in Portland.
Everybody drops their shit. They all hide. The cameras are still rolling. There's probably 20, 30 shots to go off right there in George Floyd Square, man. It couldn't been any more better times.
Poetic, right?
It was like, Jesus, man. So, I'm sure most of the fans out there have seen it, but yeah, it's crazy.
So I went to Fox and I Googled riots to see what would come up, and they had like 1 article on it on the riots for the George Floyd anniversary, and then CNN had nothing. I Googled their site, tried to find any kind of nothing. They had nothing on it whatsoever.
Yeah.
So they're sweeping it under the rug. But Fox today, as of this point, 5:27 at around 2:43 p.m. Central. All right, headline: defund fallout. Here, let me share my screen. I think I can do that.
All right.
On Skypers. Share screen. And did it do anything?
I see me.
Hey, beautiful you.
Hey, what's up?
Beautiful Jason. Hey, welcome to the podcast. How about now?
Oh, I got you now. Okay, I got you.
Okay. Again, defund fallout. Alleged gangbanger charged in murder of student in Minneapolis shining spotlight on police critics. This is Fox. Mystery of COVID's origins.
Oh, yeah.
It's still a mystery.
Still a mystery. They're coming around and like they're starting to say, oh, wait, maybe it did come from China. It's like, no shit. It's like, come on.
Well, logical people are saying that, but the Biden administration is still not.
Yeah. It's still up in the air.
Still wanting to deny. It's still racist to think that.
Yeah, I know, right?
Blatant discrimination. Chicago Dem Lightfoot sued for not giving white reporter interview. There's a twist.
Did you see that? That one right there, it blew my mind, right? So I always try to stay out of the racial fight because I think it's media pops it up more than anything. But
absolutely, yeah.
This weird looking Beetlejuice looking, I don't know this mayor, right? I hate her.
That's a great Beetlejuice. I love that.
She's got them sunken eyes most of the
time. She does. She looks like Beetlejuice.
Right. So I guess she says that she will not take interviews from anyone except people of color, right? Which once again, that's blatantly racist. I mean, right off the bat, you're discriminating against someone because of their color or skin, blah blah. It's
it doesn't go one way.
Right.
It doesn't go one way.
Can I throw up that she has a white wife? So you won't take questions from a white or even Asian. They said they won't even take from Asian reporters, but you go home to a Caucasian wife every night. So how's that work? I don't understand it, man. Well, then that's me trying to figure out liberal logic. That's impossible. Okay.
So she's a lesbian.
Yes.
Also, okay, I didn't know that about her. Okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know
what they say about white women.
Yeah, so she doesn't. I
don't know. I don't know what they say about white women.
I don't know.
That's some good insight. Good deal.
There you go. Yeah.
So we scanned down a little bit more. We got unfathomable grief. Family dog kills infant after dad briefly steps away. Massive shark terrifies passengers as it circles boats in the Atlantic Ocean.
That's fun.
Well, there are sharks in the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, shocker.
And if you're in a boat.
I love that people they go out and they'll swim in the ocean. Look, I was a reconnaissance guy, man, in the Marines, and so I did a lot of time swimming in the ocean. And I realized once I get in that ocean, I am not at the top of the food chain anymore, right? I am far from it. I mean, I'm probably 3 or 4 removed.
Way down on the food chain. Yeah.
You know? So when all of a sudden we would see, I was in Hawaii, we would do like these parachute ops into water. I'll never forget, and you would see shadows of sharks. And I knew what I was getting into as I was getting ready to land. I'm like, I need to walk on water and get the hell out of here because that's their territory, man. I'm out, right? Crazy, dude.
Yeah, we're lucky that they share their waters as much as they do with us.
Yeah,
I scuba dive, and I love scuba diving.
Yeah,
but I stay away from sharks.
yeah. No pet shark is gonna be in my future, man.
No, sir. So it goes on down. David Marcus, social media got it wrong. Who's holding them accountable? And he's talking about the coronavirus.
Yep. Yeah.
Manhunt. Police name armed and dangerous suspect in brutal double murder of military couple.
Saw that, man. I don't. That was weird. It was it keeps saying military couple, but I think that they were actually like, because I saw their age was like 65 and 70. They were older. They were like physicians or something. So maybe they were in the military back in the day, or okay, maybe it says military veterans then.
Yes, police in Virginia have identified a suspect in a double murder of a husband and wife, both military veterans.
Yeah, there you go.
Who were shot outside their home in Springfield on Wednesday morning. Dude, I'm not going to say his name, wanted connection to the brutal murders, Fairfax County Police Department. The couple was shot in cold blood in the front yard, Fairfax County Police said.
Yeah, well, make sure we defund the police, right?
Defund the police because
last thing we want is
this stuff will stop happening then.
You're right. God.
Defund the police. But that kind of a mixed theme here with the corona and the police on Fox. Let's run over to CNN. CNN's right here. McConnell doubles down on pressure campaign. The Republican has made the unusual move of asking senators to support filibustering the bill creating a January 6th commission as a personal favor to him.
Yeah, I'm not really read up on that, man. You know what I'm saying? What was the January 6th commission and all this stuff? I mean, I'm actually shocked that we're still fucking talking about this thing, man.
So basically, it's the White House. What they call it, I call them riots, but they're calling it insurrection. Is that what this is all about?
I guess so.
I don't know. San Jose gunman appeared to specifically target his victims, sheriff says. So another mass shooting.
Well, I didn't think there was. You're not allowed to have guns in California. Wait, what happened here?
What happened? Those laws there.
Yeah, right.
Isn't murder everywhere illegal?
That's crazy. I mean,
to begin
why
with,
would people dying if murder was illegal? I don't understand how that works, man. So,
I had Clint Emerson on a couple episodes ago,
nice.
and he's like, this is going to be the year of the mass shooting.
Yeah,
because I think we've already had like some ridiculous number, but we were like correlating the current administration, their agenda, and the mass shootings. It's like, okay,
yeah,
that's a little coincidental.
It is, and it won't surprise me. You know what I'm saying? It's like you'll see my shock face will be just like, when all this happens, because it's I'm right with you. I'm not a big tinfoil hat guy. I am sometimes, I guess, but a lot of times I just think that.
But there's something to a lot of this. You know?
Well, there is, yeah, there is, and I look back at this. Remember, I don't know, you guys, if you can remember way back, I don't know, what, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, there was this big mass shooting in Vegas, right? Oh yeah. Everybody forgot about that. Whatever happened to that dude? What's his story? What was the back? I mean, you know what? That's where my tinfoil hat goes on. It's like, you got a guy who was the largest mass shooting in the United States, and then it's off the map. We don't know anything about it.
Happened in what's, supposedly the most secure town in the United States.
Right.
Vegas.
Right.
But yeah, that was swept under the carpet just as quick as it happened. It's
weird, huh? Yeah, it's there's
you never heard anything else about it.
My tinfoil hat starts tinging right there when I see that. See that.
Oh, and then what happened? The result of that, bump stocks got banned.
Bump stocks. Well, that was good job.
They got relabeled as machine guns.
Yeah.
Redefined. Which, that's our big scare right now, is this doofus that they're pointing to the ATF now. What's his name? Chipman or Chipper or something like that. Is blatantly anti-gun, says that he is for banning guns and AR-15s.
Yep.
But he's pushing forward, and it looks like he's probably going to get appointed. Hopefully not.
How about we just ban the ATF? What's wrong with that movement? I can get behind that. I'll make a flag or something if we need to. I mean, whatever.
I don't think you'd have any problem getting people behind you on that one. I think that should be the next cover of the Skillset Mag.
Well, I like that.
Like a big finger to the ATF.
Exactly.
Headlines: First ever Colorado River water shortage is now almost certain. New projections show.
Okay.
That's something. They're leading to something there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Best Buy CEO, 4 challenges are why it's hard to hire workers right now.
Yeah,
because they're getting paid more to sit on their ass.
100%, man. I mean, when they were doing this, I don't know what it is, like that little stimulus injection to the unemployment. Why would you? If I have to go work and I make, let's say, $500 a week, just throw it out there, but I can sit on unemployment and make $600 a week. I mean, is it really a shocker to anybody what you're going to do? I can sit on my ass and watch Jerry Springer. They don't even have Jerry Springer anymore. I used to love that.
I think he died, didn't he? Is he still alive?
I hope not.
I don't know.
Oh man, I like that guy, man. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, Corona's over, man. Believe it or not, suck it up. It's cut off all the bonuses on your unemployment, all that shit, man. It just drives me nuts. We saw that on the employment numbers that just came out, right? We're expecting millions of people to be in a new job or people being employed. Then all of a sudden we were like a quarter of that. Well, no shit. Does that really surprise anybody? I mean, it's like, Americans are inherently lazy. I hate to say this. Sorry to shock anybody, but the easy way out is in a lot of people's blood, man, in America. So when I can get paid to do nothing, of course they're going to do nothing, man.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I feel like an old man. Get off my lawn.
I mean, it's not hard to figure out what the problem is here.
Right. Yeah.
It's not minimum wage.
Sure.
Yeah, the minimum wage isn't the issue.
No, not at all.
it's these stimulus checks
Absolutely.
and government grants and all this other shit they're doing right now.
Yeah, it's great. We're spending so much money. It's no shock that everything's so expensive now, and freaking gas is going up, groceries are going up. I couldn't believe it. My wife came back. She's like, I spent $300 on groceries the other day, and I look, I'm like, it's like, I don't even know, like a car seat full. I'm like, where's the 300? What'd you buy, man? You know, it's just everything's going up, man. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Everything, and they're blaming it on COVID.
Yeah,
everybody's blaming it on. It's like COVID is the scapegoat for people's reasons to do things that people don't like. It's like,
for sure.
Right, I'm going to raise the price on it. Well, it's because of COVID. We can't get employees. We went to Georgia this past weekend for the Iraq veteran. They had a range day there.
That looked fun. I saw.
Oh, it is fun. Yeah, it's a great time.
How's your ears right now? Because I saw nothing but full auto fire for like days going on that thing.
That's all they do there. I think they shot somewhere around 20,000 rounds or something in a day and a half. And
wow, that's awesome.
Nobody got killed or was hurt.
No mass shootings. Wow, that's amazing.
No racial incidents or anything like that, man. I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand it. But gas. Is that what we were talking about? Gas.
Yeah, I think we're at that point.
Yeah, there's the price. I was going to a restaurant, like a Hardee's or something like that, but they wouldn't let you come in. They've shut down because all the people have lifted basically their bans now, and you've been able to go to restaurants and everything for a while. In our town, for months, you've been able to do that.
Same here in Arizona, yeah.
And they're like, it's because we don't have the staff.
Oh, really?
We don't. That's their excuse now. Is like, we don't have the staff to open up our dining area, so you have to use the drive-through now.
Wow.
It's like, that sounds like a bullshit excuse to me.
Yeah.
I think you found out that your overhead's a lot less and you're making a lot more through this COVID. That just say that then.
Yeah. You think with the amount, so like funny, I hardly eat fast food anymore, but sometimes you're on the road, it's whatever. So you gotta eat, right?
Yeah.
And
I gotta have Bojangles, man. I gotta get my biscuit. And
I love little Bojangles. That's some South shit right there, man. I'm in the Southwest. We don't have that out here, man. But
you're missing out.
Yeah, I know, right? But I went to a Wendy's, right, of all places, right? So I was like, and I remember the last time I went there, I always get the same shit. I'm a creature of habit, man. And I got like my combo that I always get, right? And I remember it was like $6.50, and I'm going, God dang, $6.50 for a little burger and a thing of fries, but whatever. I went back the other day, it's $10 now. I'm like, $10. What the hell's
what happened?
Yeah, so I mean, everything's just right through the roof, man. So I'm like, man, this is crazy. When's it going to stop? I don't know, But we got dudes like douchebags like John Cena. Oh, did I tell you about John Cena? You didn't know about John Cena.
Speaking of jack wagons, tell me John
guy.
Cena.
He's definitely on the jag wagon. And I know a lot of your fans out there know what this story. If you haven't heard it yet, I don't know. So he's doing another film. I don't know what maybe Fast and Furious 14 or some shit. I don't know what it is, right?
I think he's in the new DC. What is that? Suicide Squad. Is that the one?
Maybe, yeah, I'm sure he is. The guy's, and he's, he played the Marine, and he's gotten a pass a lot. He's a WWE dude, so whatever, man. I didn't mind the guy. Everybody screams John Cena.
Because he wore like the American flag and stuff, red, white, and blue.
Yeah, he was very
patriotic kind of wrestler.
Sure, so it was like, okay, cool, man. Oh, so he does his press junkets, I guess, and for his next film. And which opens up in Taiwan and China and all this stuff. Well, he came on and said, "Hey, people, Taiwan, your country's great, and you're gonna get to see our film first in the country of Taiwan." Well, China, who we all know owns fucking Hollywood, 100%, right?
They own America. Come on, we kidding.
Yeah, that's true. And they said, "Wait a minute, Taiwan is not a country. First off, it's a province of China, and you will apologize for saying that." So this douchebag gets on whatever national worldwide TV and apologizes to China. But wait, there's more. Makes his heartfelt apology in Mandarin, in Chinese. He doesn't even do it in American. I speak actually really good Chinese, which is even more scary.
Really?
It's just like, I'm talking, he had his mouth full of, I won't go there. But anyway.
It was actually him
It was him.
Speaking Chinese.
And just giving this, I mean, looked like a freaking war prisoner, man, you know, giving us, sorry to China, you're the greatest country in the world. I mean, just all types of shit. I can't, look, I know he's a big boy. I will fuck this guy up, man. I hate this dude, man. I cannot believe, first off, they'll never use the title, or whatever it's called. The title of Marine, or, you know, somehow got this whole on. Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
okay, F9 star. I don't know what the F9 is.
F9 might be that movie. Oh, okay. Fast and Furious. That's what it is.
Okay, yeah.
F9 star John Cena has professed his love for China after calling Taiwan a country during an interview that generated a backlash among fans in Hollywood's most important international market. The controversy unfolded after Cena, who plays the brother of Vin Diesel's Tom Toretto in the 9th installment of the popular Fast and Furious franchise, gave an interview to a Taiwanese broadcaster. Taiwan is the first country that can watch F9, Cena told the broadcaster in Mandarin. Taiwan is self-governed democratic island, but China claims it as a sovereign territory despite two sides being ruled separately since the end of the Civil War over 70 years ago. Beijing considers any suggestion of Taiwan's independence crossing its red line and has been increasingly trying to use its economic power to police speech on the topic around the world. I'm sorry for my mistake, Cena said. I must say now, it's very, 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 very important that I love and I respect even more China and the Chinese people.
Done.
Canceled.
Yeah, I seriously.
I mean, I never really followed the guy anyway, but
yeah,
whatever.
I will. Yeah, once again, it's fucking Hollywood cuck. I don't even care, man. But it's one of those guys.
That's
now.
What he is. He's a Hollywood cuck.
Yeah, and it's to me, it's just like you would sell. I get it. You got to do this. You want to stay employed. I don't give a shit who my employer is. I will eat dog shit behind a dumpster before I apologize to a communist country.
Absolutely. I mean, I might apologize to my fans, but I'm not going to apologize to the country.
No way. Nothing communist. I'll tell you right now, North Korea, Cuba, China, you ain't getting my apology. I don't give a shit what happens, man. So I'll die before I do that, man. So, but maybe that's just the Marine in me, or just the American in me. How about that?
There you go. God,
man. It's so crazy, man. But you know, like you go online.
Seen a former Marine? Is he a Marine? Or has he just played one on TV?
He played one on TV, and it was like
one of those things.
Good representation. So they didn't really make him an honorary Marine, but he gets this weird fucking pass, which I always disagreed on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, hey, you don't get a pass unless you went through boot camp and you've actually earned the title of Marine, right? But that's just me, right? But okay, you're an entertainer, big deal. But now you pull this shit. Nope. We should retitle that the Merchant Marine instead of the Marine. That card. That's sorry, Merchant Marines. I probably just offended you out there. Sorry.
Yeah, don't even lump them in with them. You know, there's some good, hardworking men and women there.
Yeah, for sure. It's sad that that's the power of money and what it'll do to somebody, right? I'm like, how much money does this guy need? He literally could just quit everything right now, and he's gonna be fine for the rest of his life. His kids are gonna be right. I mean, the guy's a multi-millionaire.
Well, he's not as big as The Rock, you know. He's not as more important or famous as The Rock, you know. They want The Rock to run for president.
Oh God,
can you imagine?
Unfortunately, he would be a contender because we have a brainwashed, society out there that, the phone tells them everything. That's why, look.
I mean, for God's sake, Arnold Schwarzenegger was, Schwarzenegger, excuse me.
But that's
from the South. That's a bad way to say that. But he was governor of California, for God's sake.
100%. I know. As a Republican, too, I believe. So, which is even more weird. I think he's pretty left these days. But anyway, you see what they do. Like, say, the Cardi B thing, right? I always refer to her. There's a reason. Yeah, she's a former stripper, whatever. Horrible music. It doesn't matter. But she has millions and millions and millions of fans, and all you gotta do is get in Cardi B. Give her that money. Hey, tell people to vote for Biden. Okay, so she jumps on her Twitter or her fucking whatever it's TikTok, and then you just gain millions of votes. I guarantee you gain millions of votes for a single tweet.
Absolutely.
So it's the power of propaganda, man. Power of propaganda.
Well, they earn future votes because the people that really follow her are underage. They can't vote yet, but no, without a doubt, they are influential, and that's why the politicians get them behind them.
For sure. Yeah. And that's the problem with The Rock too. I mean, he was a big anti-Trumper and all that shit. And it was just like, whatever, man. I know a lot of people like him. I give two shits about the guy. Honestly, I don't care. There's a handful of actors that I like. And a lot of them have been on my magazine.
I want to talk about a couple of these.
Yeah.
Rob Riggle, Michael Rooker.
Yeah, Rooker. We've had Isaiah Washington on here, man. Even I can look up here, and Ryan Phillippe was another one. Which
I was going to ask you about him too. Yeah, I want to talk about Ryan.
We'll start with Ryan, which is
okay.
Which everybody needs a Hollywood heartthrob in the '90s. You remember the guy? He's actually some decent movies.
Brutal Intentions is the first movie that I remember him in.
Yeah,
Great
right.
movie. Love that movie.
Way of the Gun was a good movie he was in and all that shit, right? So, and he was the
Shooter TV series.
Okay, and that's where
most recent, yeah.
Yeah, that's where we fall in. Was my good friend Buck Doyle. He's a recon guy. Was with me. He's a great guy. You guys don't know. Follow through Buck. He's out there. He teaches tons of classes, long range shooting, a lot of long range gunfighting. This guy's been in triple digit firefights. He's the only guy I know who's been shot 3 times by a Dragunov in one setting and lived.
Oh shit!
Fucking lived, dude.
That's
this
a
guy,
badass.
Yeah, leg broken half, arm broken half, third shot hit his plate, and he still lived, and now he's back just kicking ass. So anyway, so we were out. He was training. He got a 5-day training package for a shooter for Ryan Phillippe and Omar Epps, and it was like, hey, this would be a good thing for Skillset. We were really young. We were on our 3rd issue. I was like, hell yeah. So we pack up the photo studio. Ben and I had 12 hours up in the mountains of Utah. And for 5 days, we go up there, we train with him and one-on-one stuff. It was only about maybe 5 of us total. Yeah. And at the end of the thing was like, we're going to do our cover shoot. And we're going to do all this stuff. This is going to be awesome, right? Well, day 5, at the end of it, he kind of calls us in the morning. He goes, I ain't doing a cover shoot, man. I'm like, what? What the fuck are you talking about? He was like, I look like shit. I'm tired. I've been, beat up for the past 5 days. I got an image. And I was like, you fucking Hollywood piece of shit. All right. We packed our shit up. I left. I was mad, right?
Sure.
And so I go back down. I'm sitting there now the whole 12 hours we're trying to war game. What's the next cover? What we're going to do? Because I wasn't, we're not going to cover, right?
Right.
So Ben and I are sitting there. Day after that, we get back. We're sitting here at the studio. And sure enough, knock at the door. We got a little 4,000 square foot studio. Knock at the door. And I look out the door. And there's shit, I swear to God, there's Ryan Phillippe with a suit over his shoulder at our front door. I'm like, what? On his own dime, he went back to Hollywood, flew back out here, and he goes, I told you I'll do it. I just had to get ready for it. And I'm like, damn, that guy's a good dude, man. So he hung out for the next 2 days. By the way, don't go to dinner or take that guy to a restaurant. You're invisible. I'm like, what the fuck? Wait just so you acknowledge us, dude. They were, I was like, the big heartthrob guy, right? So,
especially getting a suit on.
Yeah. He was a good dude, man. I would say really good guy because he, went out there and, Buck Dole, he doesn't care if you're the president of the United States or, some whatever, right. Nobody. He will treat you exactly the same. He's going to slap you in the back of the head if you're screwing up. And he did the exact same thing. But these guys, after 4 days, were making I think it was like 1,400-yard shot. Omar Epps was a spotter. And
they were loving it too, weren't they?
Yeah. Ryan Phillippe nailed it. No outside. Hey, there's your target. Go. And it's like 1,400 yards away. And they did it. And it was like, okay, that's pretty impressive, man. So
did you get to hang out while they were doing that?
Yeah, I was there the whole time, man. Man,
that's awesome.
It was fun. So you get guys like that, and it's like, okay, I got respect for you, man. I got respect for those guys, because a lot of dudes, once again, it's an act, right? It's an act, or whatever, or they'll do a press junket. Of course, they're gonna be nice to you, right? So you never know until you get it here. Rob Riggle was great. Rob Riggle was funny as hell.
Man, I would love to hang out with that dude.
We the funny story about that dude is, if you got time, I know I can remember.
I got all day, man. I don't set a time limit, so.
So we get Rob Riggle here at the studio, and at the time I want to do. There's a thing, and you guys can look it up later or whatever. But there's old magazines called men's pulp magazines, right? It was a style magazines, and it was used after World War II, Korean War. You can look it up. You can see the style magazines. They were very in your face, like just crazy, wild. No shit, there I was stories. There's always like a chick that's half almost naked and getting ready to get her head cut off, and some dude saving her life against some Japanese, crazy stuff like that, right? Well, I always loved those things, and it was made for the soldiers and guys that came back from the war. They kind of, you needed stuff like that, right? So, to read and whatnot, kind of work your way back in society, man. So, but So anyway. I wanted to do a cover like that. I wanted to do something crazy off the wall cover. And there you go. You see it right there. Yeah. So
I'm pulling it up for our video.
Yeah, for sure. I was like, hey, I go, Rob, we could do the standard stand there, type of picture or whatnot. In fact, you see me right on top of him I asked you by
right here.
Yeah, because Rob was a former Marine, right? He was a retired Marine.
Right, and that's something I didn't know about him until recently. I started watching. He had this TV series where he was like an Indiana Jones type thing, and he was going and searching for treasure and shit like that. And I was just like, I fucking love this guy.
yeah, he was awesome. So
because he's in those. For those who don't know, Rob Riggle, he's done a lot of the Adam Sandler movies. I think Adam kind of brought him up into it, but he did that one with The Rock and Marky Mark.
The other guys. Yeah,
other guys, yeah.
That was my favorite one with that. He plays that asshole.
Do a desk pop. Do the desk pop.
Yeah, right. So we were sitting there, and I was like, all right. He goes,
Step Brothers. He was in Step Brothers.
Step Brothers, yeah. Oh, yeah, the Catalina wine mixer, right?
Oh, my God, I love that.
So I was like, I go, look, I want to do something different, man, And he's like, yeah, whatever, man. I'm here. Let's do whatever. I'm like, I want you to fight a bear. And he's like, a what? I go, trust me on this. I go, I'm a Photoshop master, right? So I dress up in this thing. I put a buck knife in his hand with a leather strap. And I go, just look over your shoulder and like, you're ready to kick the shit out of somebody. He had no idea what was going on, right? So right. I go, Rob, just trust me. I go, and he did. He was like, all right, fuck it, whatever. So anyway, we did the cover, good to go. It was an earlier cover, it was our fourth cover actually, and you can only get so much love out of it, right? Because you're a smaller company.
Sure.
Well, his agent calls me one night. It said, hey, man, you should watch Conan O'Brien. Rob's going to be on it, man. I'm like, all right, I don't watch Conan O'Brien. But I'm like, thanks, dude. Yeah. So I go to bed that night. My wife comes back, wakes me up like midnight. She's like, holy shit. I go, come here, watch. And she DVR'd it. I go, what they did, they surprised Rob with this cover on Conan O'Brien. They brought it up.
Really?
And it was like a good 5-minute segment of just the covers being up there and him talking about it. And he was like, he goes, dude, I had no idea. I went there because this crazy Marine that's tattooed, and he was telling me, hey, you're going to fucking fight a bear. I'm going to kick your ass. I didn't say that, but that's what he said.
Right.
You say all this shit. He goes, I'm going to do it. I don't want my ass kicked by this guy. It was funny as hell, man. And it really helped us out, believe it or not.
I was going to say, so maybe you attribute some of your success to Conan O'Brien?
I know. It's just weird. I never want to.
You hate that, right?
Yeah. So, but he was a cool dude, man. Really good. We got to really talk behind the scenes of Hollywood and figure out, at that time Hollywood was getting to the stage where you had to play ball on the politics, or you're going to get fucked over, right? Whereas a lot of people are like, well, he's a little left. I'm like, I asked him. I'm like, straight up, we're at the lunch. I'm like, dude, what is that? He goes, I'm just trying to make it, dude. He goes, so if I have to fucking nod my head, I mean, he's never really extreme left.
Out.
Like that,
Yeah.
But he's, he goes on these shows, these Conan O'Brien's and stuff like that. So, which a lot of people are like, fuck that guy. But, he's actually a really good dude. He really is, man. And he was at the stage where he's just starting to get, some decent roles and all that stuff. So it is what it is, man. I like the guy, really good cat. We don't really.
He seems like he would be an awesome dude to hang out with. Now, is he got like a stance on Pro 2A or anything like that, or is he one of those that like just buries it and keeps it?
He didn't touch anything, right? He didn't cover anything, right? I didn't put a gun in his hand and take a picture, but he probably would have if he wanted. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, no, I'm not even gonna put it that way. I'm not gonna make it awkward, man. I go.
Well, I mean, we got a picture right here of him with one of those.
The old good old
Full-auto M16, baby. Yeah.
So it was once again he was solid, man, and we don't talk much anymore with like every one of our covers.
We don't talk much anymore.
Yeah, it's just it goes their own ways and this and that. But guys like Michael Rooker, that was our next one, right? Bringing in Michael Rooker. For those who don't know Michael Rooker, and you should bring up that cover because that cover is my favorite, by the way. Michael Rooker, Walking Dead. He's Yondu on Guardians of the Galaxy. The guy's been in 1,000 movies, man, and just a solid dude, right?
So that one that he kicked his career off with, he.
The horror movie one, like
the serial killer.
Yeah, Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, man. That was one of my. I'm a big horror movie fan. If you guys don't know, but people who listen to this podcast know I'm a diehard horror guy. And that was one I watched as a kid, going, "This guy's fucked. I'll never meet this guy." And then I'm actually like almost best friends with the guy now, right? So
that's awesome.
So we're like, hey, Mike,
I've reached out to him to try to get him on the show, so you make a connection there. That'd be awesome.
For sure, man. Yeah, because he was one of the, this is how cool this guy was. So we get a hold of his agent. You got to go through the agent routes and all this shit, right?
Yeah.
So basically the agent's like, hey, man, I'm just going to hook you guys up. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is cool. So I get this phone call. There's Rooker. He's just like, hey, man, he's super cool. He goes,
he's an avid gun enthusiast, too, and he makes no bones about it.
Yeah, and which gets even cooler, by the way. So I'm like, hey, if I go, all right, cool, check us out. I go, we're gonna fly you first class. He goes, hey man, I live in Burbank. How about fuck it? How about I drive out? You guys are in Phoenix. I was like, yeah, that's great, man. So he drives out. There's a good shot of all of us right there. That's actually at Haley's place right there. And everything. So
yeah, that's what this was. That virtual.
Yeah, right there.
Thing he's got. Yeah, that's awesome.
And so he drives out. He calls me about like 11 o'clock at night. He gets in. He goes, come out, come get a drink. And I'm like, Jesus. So I go out to town, and we get a little lit up with him that night. And yeah, there's a great picture basically the next morning, by the way. So that was all his idea. That was his idea. He's like, I want to be in costumes. I'm like, okay, we just grab whatever you grab. But this guy, man, we took him shooting. I didn't know how much of a diehard gun guy this guy is. I mean, this is how, let me tell you how diehard it is, right? He lives in California, right? Oh, there's my RPG.
That's awesome.
My baby right there. And which you all know California gun laws. So this guy, he actually bought a house in like Bullhead City, Arizona, which is right on the border of California, just so he can have guns shipped there, right? And so he can just drive 2 hours so he can go play with them, man. That's how diehard this guy is, which is freaking awesome if you ask me, right? So good dude, man. He was only supposed to stay like a day. He ended up staying like 3 days, man. And I mean, to the point where I'm like, all right, man. Time
to go, Michael.
Yeah. And
drank all our booze, shot all our ammo. It's time to go.
100%. And but the best part was the cover. I'm like, all right. I was like, Michael, you've done everything, dude. You've done, I mean, almost everything. What is something you haven't done? Because we're trying to figure out at the time we have no idea what to do with the cover, right? What you think? Right. You got a movie star here. You should probably figure this shit out, right? But if you type in the cover, you can, I guess, to put it up for the people to see or whatnot, the skill set cover. But if not, I can bring it up.
Is it on this article?
No, it's probably not on that article. I just Google it, man, or whatever. Go it or whatever you're doing. So I go, what haven't you done? He's like, well, I never played a soldier. And I'm like, really? Fuck, I didn't know that. I was like, okay. Now I like, how about what if you're killing a Nazi? He's like, I fucking hate Nazis. I'm like, who doesn't, man? So there you go.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. So literally,
dude, that is badass.
This is my favorite cover. So we buy, believe it or not, buy a Nazi uniform, right? Which is weird, by the way, if you ever try to do that. I had the old World War II 101st Airborne outfit already, right? And
and you'd be able to get a line on costumes and shit being in Hollywood.
Yeah, well, it was, we actually do have a line on it. I've gotten Buffalo Soldier costumes, which I'll talk about in a second. But anyway, so I'm like, okay, so the Nazi down there getting butt stroked is actually my assistant editor, Ben.
Is that Ben?
He did this cover, and, and once again, I did the Photoshop work and got all that stuff put together and on the back, and he saw it, and he was just like, holy shit. He was so happy with this cover, man, which I did too, because I tried to make it old school. So the old men's pulp type of magazine.
So even like this crumpled look and stuff like that, you did all that?
I did it all, man. We did it all. So
that's the way the cover, it looked like it's been
it looked like it's
found it in your grandpa's attic.
Yes, 100%. That's exactly
awesome, dude.
Yeah, and he loved it.
Awesome. And
it was like, it really, like I said, if you type in men's pulp magazines, you'll see what I'm talking about on the thing. It really mirrored like the old covers, man. So yeah, you'll see when you pop that thing up. Just do any go any image search here. So like for men only, right? That one, and just some crazy wild ass shit that they always put on there. It's just like, that's awesome, And I always wanted something like that. So we did that style magazine.
Like the old Sergeant Fury. Comic books and.
Right. And so those are, and they don't make those anymore. A lot of them weren't very PC, and all that stuff. So it's always like, there's always someone getting tortured or killed in the front, and there's some soldier getting ready to kill, and stuff like that. So, but, it was a blast, and it was fun, and he was just 100% all about it, man. And I couldn't. And to this day, I text him right now. He'll jump on the phone. Just one of those guys. He comes every time he rolls through here. He'll do these cons and stuff, signing. He'll come by and swing by just because he wants to shoot guns.
That's awesome.
So really good guy, and You know, and he also let us in on the Hollywood thing. You know, he goes, there is a blacklist. You know, I mean, he straight up told us.
So it exists.
Yeah,
it's a thing.
It exists, and it's and if you're on it, you're starving to death. You know, so it sucks, and you know, which I've heard that from everybody. You know, and
did he give you any kind of insight as far as the up and coming like leaders of Hollywood? Because like the Guns and the people that he's done the Guardians of the Galaxy with, and people like that, are they more pro-gun leaning? Or
I didn't, we didn't really talk too much.
Like Keanu Reeves with the John Wick movies, and which, he's really pushed and promoted a lot of the training and
for sure
stuff that he's done for those movies.
Yeah, and that's why I love Keanu. We tried to get him a cover. He didn't. He was too big at the time, so it didn't work out so well for us. But
was he in the mag?
No. We tried to get him for a cover, and it's just he was cool. Well, we actually talked to him, which was nice, right? And he was just like, he goes, when it makes sense. I think it was when it's time, when it makes sense, I'll do it. Like, I think I was like, hey man, we don't have to do the John Wick shit because everybody's doing it, right? I go
motorcycles, man.
He has a line of motorcycles, but I want to push, and that kind of lit him up a little. He's like, ooh, I like that, but it didn't work out. But maybe one day, I still think it's good. I mean,
that's what I would talk to him about if I had him on the show. I'd talk about his bikes, man. For sure.
Yeah, and so that's kind of because we try to do that. So that's one thing I love about we do for Skillset is like I try to do. Yeah, you got, you can go to Wikipedia and find everything you want about, Michael Rooker, right? And I didn't want to talk about that shit anymore. I was like, let me find out something that we don't know about you, and so that way our readers have something like, wow, okay, you get them reading the magazine and they're like, now I learned something, man. I didn't have to just go to Wikipedia. And we did the same thing for Isaiah Washington, which is another one of my favorite covers, man. He was Grey's Anatomy. He's done all types of stuff, man. My favorite was Ghost Ship. Once again, I'm a horror fan, right? So, but Isaiah is a great dude. He's a big gun guy, which has gotten, and he was a Trump supporter, which got him booted out of Hollywood. Pretty quick. But he doesn't back down, man, and that's what I liked about the guy. He's just like, these are my values. I believe Trump's the guy for us, and I'm pro-gun. I'm pro-Constitution. And if you don't like it, fuck off. So and so now he's making his own movies outside of Hollywood, So yeah, there you go. The Isaiah Washington one. And that's what I asked him was I'm sure there's a bigger one later.
A bigger one, yeah.
Yeah, but it was right. But it was one of those things where he's just like, we were doing a whole article on the Buffalo Soldiers, which is a great historic piece, and so we got him a costume, got him an outfit, and we did a kick-ass cover with him riding his horse, which is all photoshopped and all that stuff, shooting the gun and all that stuff. We had a fun time with that guy, and to this day, he picks up the phone anytime I call, we talk, and he bounces ideas because he really likes.
What's some of the big movies he's been in? Because I'm not as familiar with him.
So he was more of a TV guy. He was on, they say, Grey's Anatomy for years. He was on The 100. He's done a shitload of movies, man. Yeah, you can.
My girlfriend's gonna kill me because she loves Grey's Anatomy. I mean, she's like,
oh yeah.
I guarantee she knows who he is.
He was Dr. Burke on that one, so yeah, she'll know everything about him, man. So,
I can't find a big one of it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm sure it's just some. Sometimes DuckDuckGo, for some reason, they lag behind. You guys look it up. It's all good. It was a really cool cover, and he's a really good dude. And he's done
like a Civil War kind of theme.
Yeah, Buffalo Soldier. Yeah, so around that time frame, and it was pretty cool, man. And once again, the guys, I love the fact that how pro-gun he is, and he thinks how hypocritical Hollywood is because they were so anti-gun, but yeah, they make all their money off guns, So it was good to hear.
Exactly. I was watching Die Hard last night, and
yeah, there you go. Exactly right.
So it's like, what a bunch of hypocrites. It's a great fucking movie, though.
Right. And we've all said it, and it's just like, it's so weird that,
what about Bruce Willis? You ever had any inside track on getting him?
I want to get him. I you know what? And that's actually one of the guys I think we could get, he's later in his career and whatnot, so.
He's doing a lot of like Steven Seagal movies these days, those kind of just cranking one out a week, it seems like.
Yeah. My man, Steven Seagal. Everybody hates him except me. We're good friends. I don't know if you know that.
Okay. No, I didn't know that. I've heard differing stories with Seagal, but
as a good friend of Steven, right? He's been here at the studio a few times, hangs out. I've had a lot of 3 a.m. phone conversations with the guy. He's crazy as fuck. I ain't gonna lie. All right, I'll be the first. I'll tell him to his face, man. He's on a different planet, man.
Have you drank his energy drink though?
Yeah. yes.
I can't remember what it was called, but when I heard about it, it was hilarious. Yeah. Talk about another person who loves the Chinese. Maybe that was Japanese. Was that Japanese? It was Japanese.
So he's a big Japanese guy. So he was in the martial arts world. He's actually a legend, believe it or not, right? In Aikido, I believe, or whatever it is. Even though years ago you see him in the UFC escorting guys in the UFC down to the cage. That was ridiculous. Right. Yeah, that was dumb, and I think he even admits it was dumb. But it was he's really a good guy. A big pro gun guy, first off, he's got a hell of a collection of guns, man. But he's in a different world. I like
the guy personally. I mean, I like a little bit of crazy.
And he's definitely
look at Gary Busey. I love Gary Busey.
Oh, me too. That's who I want. I actually had Gary Busey agree to be on our cover, but
dude, that would be so awesome.
I turned it away, man. And this is because I didn't know if our audience would like it, man. That was my thing. I was like, I know I love Gary, and I want to sit down on this chair and talk to him and just get the crazy fucking field story. Oh my god,
your audience love Gary Busey. Trust me.
Yeah, it was so funny because we were already arranging a flight, and he was like, I need security when I come to the airport. I'm like, security for what, dude? I'm like, what? he was just out there, man. Gary's crazy, man. But
call me next time and I'll be his security.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I could have put anybody there. He probably wouldn't have.
You'd have people pay you to be his security, just to see the shit show,
Yeah, no shit, right? Yeah. So, but Seagal, I never forget. One time I'm gonna tell you a quick Seagal story, right?
No.
So I go to his house, right? He had a house here. I think he just sold it in like a $3.5 million place.
You're in Arizona, right?
Yeah, in Phoenix area. Yeah. And he lived up in Scottsdale, North Scottsdale, Cave Creek area, which is real ritzy, right? Yeah. So I'll go to his house, and it's the second time I ever met him, and so I'm sitting in this little weird, I don't know, guitar room, right? Because the guy was a blues guitarist. I don't know if you guys knew that too. So I'm sitting there and we're waiting for Seagal, right? Like it's like we're waiting on the emperor to show up, right? He's got in his house, he's got like 40 people just going everywhere. A lot of Russians, a lot of really hot chicks everywhere. I'm like, I don't know what's going on, right?
It's just people there.
Yeah. It was crazy. So finally he shows up and is like, it's so weird. People like stand up when it comes in. I'm like, dude, this is Steve. It's not like we're talking, Prince fucking Harry or some shit. Right. But anyway, so I'm sitting in this chair and he walks up. I'm still sitting. I'm not, I give a shit. Right. He comes in, and he looks at me. He's like, okay. And then he goes, sits next to me. Well, I didn't realize I was in the Steven Seagal throne, right? I was in his chair.
Oh, you were in his chair.
Yeah. I wasn't getting that fucking right. So, and I think I actually earned his respect, man. But this is how wild it is. So we're sitting there talking. We're talking about some photo shoots we're going to do and all this good stuff. And, really good dude. And all of a sudden, one of his, this little Russian, I don't know, 22-year-old girl walks in, and she's kind of almost like bows, but says like, excuse me, Mr. Seagal. And he goes, whoop. He sticks his hand up. She shuts up immediately. And then this weird Obi Kenobi, I don't know if you're listening to this via, not seeing the video, it's a little weird, but he kind of just like holds his hand up and then he moves it to the right. And then she just like, she sees it and she just disappears, dude. She just walks out of the room, man.
He just
without one word. I'm like, what the hell? He's like, these are not the droids you're looking for. That's what it was like, man. I'm like, what? This is crazy.
He just waved her off. Like,
Yeah, I loved it, man. But he's cool, man. I know a lot of people give him shit, but you know what, man? The guy's, he's made some fun movies, and I know everybody. I don't care. You definitely like some of his movies. Back in the 90s.
Absolutely, yeah. I grew up with those. He was part of the action of the 80s, 90s.
Sure.
With Jean-Claude Van Damme, Steven Seagal, Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah,
I said it right that time.
Yeah.
He's got a house up there too, doesn't he? Or he used to, Arnold.
I don't know. I have never met the dude. I don't know where he's at. That's him off my radar a little bit, but it was.
I was up there a few years ago, and we were driving around, and somebody's like, "Oh, and that's where Arnold lives." And there was a big Hummer.
Oh, really?
Sitting up there. Yeah, this has been like 12, 13 years ago. It's been a minute.
He probably loved, getting out of California. I wouldn't blame him, man. So
yeah, could have been.
We had speaking of Van Damme, and I'll air this right out. We had him agreeing. He was like, "Yeah, I'll be on your cover," but he wanted money, and I'm like, "I ain't paying nobody money, dude." I'm like, first off, what money do we have to give you, right? I'm like, but I've never paid.
I wasn't gonna ask, but yeah. Okay, so you don't pay people for the.
No, I won't take it. I'm like, look, you're helping me, I'm helping you, right? This is a national magazine. some people think they're a little bit above that sometimes, or you'll pay me for your magazine, but I'm like, I don't need you, man. I go find someone else. So, and but no one's ever asked us for money except Von Dom, of all people. You know, I'm
Interesting.
like, okay. Yeah. So we said,
how much was he wanting?
I didn't get that stage. As soon as
he was like, fuck it.
Yeah. They're like, well, how much is it? You know, do you want to? It was like they leaving it to us. Like, what are you going to offer him to give him a magazine? I was like, 0. See ya. I just hung up, man. I'm like, I'll go somewhere else, man. So. I don't, you know, I like the guy and I'd love to sit down and talk with him, but I ain't gonna pay you to talk.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Yeah, so no one's ever paid to be on our cover, man. Although I've been offered a lot. People offered to be on our cover. They want to pay us.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I won't air any dirt, man. But there's some people in the let's say the gun industry that wants that were
I
like
just kind of naturally assume that, you know, since it's a marketing advertising type thing and people get exposure for it, that you would. You know, people would pay you, or you would pay them, or, you know,
I didn't want to go down that route. Like, and that's something that's, you know, we get all the time. And, you know, first off, I freaking love our advertisers, right? And that's why people think we're a gun magazine, because most of our advertisers are gun manufacturers, right?
Right.
And which, you know, God bless you guys, man. You keep us in business, and it's amazing. But a lot of them are like, well, hey, we're advertising your, not a lot of them, a few of them, let me throw it out there.
Sure.
We're advertising your magazine. We like an editorial. And I'm like, you're advertising the wrong magazine then, because we do not do that. I don't do paid editorial type of stuff. I go, if I did it for one person, and we turn into a gun magazine, you know? So I would love to do a story. You got something interesting? I mean, like for instance, this latest issue that just came out, we went down to Meridian Defense, who premier AK builder, if you guys don't know. And we actually built our own legacy AKs, man, to the point where they didn't, it was like over our shoulders, do this, rivet, do all this. And I didn't realize how much detail goes in. And this is Meridian Defense. They're anal as hell when it comes to building AK. They're full or anal, right? I mean, they everything's got to be perfect. But it was fun, man. And we did. Is
that your first one you built?
First one ever built, man. From the kit on to the final, right? So nice. It was awesome.
Are you hooked now?
Yeah, I want to build more, man. It was, you know, and especially when you start to shoot, it's a roamy, right? So
there's only a few companies out there that offer like classes for you to come and build the AKs. I know Rifle Dynamics used to do it. I don't know if they still do or not. Mesa Kinetics, Vince down there, they did it. Who's the other one? I don't know if M13 does or not. I had him on the show not too long ago. Yeah. But there's only a few.
And a lot of time though, and that was something that we were going to do, but then I heard and this, I could be totally wrong. So those who out there do these classes, you can correct me. You guys are the experts, but a lot of times they'll have a lot of shit populated already, right? They'll have to the point where it's like, cause you got time. It's only X amount of time and all that stuff. So this was different for us. It was like, here's all your rivets, here's all your tools,
press the barrel and everything.
I'll show you once, and then it's on you. If you fuck it up, you fuck it up. And we're like, oh man, I'm sitting there sweating bullets, you know, literally, right? So, and it was cool. But Meridian Defense, man, those guys are incredibly professional. They're amazing. Their AKs are just over the top. I own 6 of them now, I think.
What are they out of?
This is the best part. Santa Barbara. California. Yeah. Okay. Like what the hell? And
fighting the good fight behind enemy lines.
Yeah. And it's and their AKs are their tolerances on AKs are ridiculous. I was like, to the point I'm looking, I'm like, really? Do we have to be this anal? You know, like I know people make
but you gotta be precise. I mean, the AK has the reputation of being a thrown together frying pan, but
right.
I mean there's some precision that goes into to making those. Here they are.
Yeah, there you go, right there, man. I got an RPK coming, man, for my 7th gun from them. I've got AKs from a lot of people, and I think I've fallen in love with their guns, man. They're amazing. I'm not trying to do a big plug for Meridian Defense.
No, that's fine. So I told you we do this this monthly segment called the Talking Lead AK Corner.
Yes.
By the way.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't see my camera. I got it on screen share. But would love to get you. Why don't you come on with Meridian Defense one episode, and we'll do an episode with them and you.
The owner, Tony Area, he started out as a hot rod builder, which is cool, and then he just felt, he loved just building AKs, kind of, whatever, out of his garage and shit. So they started building. He teamed up with a master machinist who, this guy's like a mad scientist, so he always tries to make things better, right? How can I make it? How to make it better? You'll never see him in the limelight, but it's great because he's taken these AKs to the next level, and a lot of people, Meridian Defense. There we go.
That's sweet. Yeah.
So I have 2 of those. All right, that's one we really. Yeah, those are the ones we built, man. Amazing stuff, man. And
look at that.
They got tons of kits, man. They got a line on kits from overseas, so they'll never be short on kits, and they're pretty badass, man. And they're really good dudes, man. They're just full. They're just like me and you. There's nothing,
that's what I found about most people in the gun community. Sure. Most everybody's really good. Really, they want to help. They want to, they're good ambassadors for the most part.
For sure.
It's a big industry. It's a big family, but it's really, tight knit, close.
Absolutely. These guys have blown up in the past few years. I remember when they first started, man. I was doing some work for them, some photo work, and then I just fell in love with the guns. And then the next thing you know, now, they're backlogged like everybody else is these days, But
everybody is. It's
right.
Crazy.
But if you're looking for a good freaking AK, and Meridian's not on your list, and you need to change your list because they're definitely they're top notch.
Well, let's do an introduction. Like I said, I'd love to get them on the show. I don't know if you're familiar with Occam Defense Solutions or not. They're out of Brian Keeney. He co-hosts with me on the AK Corner. They're one of the sponsors. And he does the 1775. I've got one back there. I don't know if you can see it or not. ODS 1775.
That's cool.
It's a beautiful, accurate.
Yeah.
They bust the myth about AKs not being accurate because that thing is very precise.
So you ready for this? So I actually with Jim Fuller of all people, right? A couple years ago, he built an AK with Sharps Brothers, right? With their Sharps Brothers receiver. And so myself and John Sharps and Jim Fuller went out to Vegas when Jim was up there, and he built a sub-MOA AK, and I was like, no fucking way. And sure enough, man, took that thing 100-yard range, and all 3 of us shot about 3/4 inch groups, man, with an AK. And I was like, that's the first time I've ever actually seen that. I was like, I don't even think that's legal.
Oh, it's not an AK if it does that, right?
right. I'm like minute of man, dude. What are you talking about? Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful, man.
So this is a ODS 1775.
Oh.
He's got his rail on there, patented rail. He's got his butt. He's doing the butt stocks now.
Beauty.
He's pretty much. He's slowly every part he's starting to manufacture himself. Nice. So eventually he's going to have it 100% made.
That's man. See, I'm starting to get sweaty palms, man. That shit looks good. I get crazy around AKs, dude.
Oh, dude, I've gotten the fever, definitely. That's why I started doing that segment, is because I wanted to learn more about the AKs.
Yeah.
And I was like, what better way to do it? I'll just do a freaking segment on it,
And I've told people, I've actually done podcasts. We ran the Center Mass podcast for a while and all that stuff, but I explain to people why do I love AKs? And I'm a big legacy guy. I like com block weapons, right? Stuff that, my favorite AK that I have probably own 4 or 5 is an East German AK, right? And it's because there's a lot of history that goes in these AKs, right? And they're never going to be built again because, East Germany doesn't exist, right? And there's other communist countries like that, and I really dig it. And then the trench art that you'll find on a lot of these is just amazing. You never find trench art on a Russian gun because Russia was kind of like the U.S., right? I'm not allowed to carve up my M4, because I'm bored. I'll get my ass kicked, right? So same with the Russian, and even China, they wouldn't do that. But you find these like the Bosnians, the Serbian AKs, and these guys. There were a lot of Romanians. A lot of these kids, especially during the Bosnian War, they would sit there and just carve. Because they're bored out of their mind. If you guys look at the Bosnian War, it was fought between Bosnia, Croatia, and Serbia. And when the militaries broke down, it was basically gang fighting, right? So you have all these guys, these kids with AKs, and they love American pulp culture. So they would carve in AC/DC and Kiss and all these cool stuff. But I got AKs with stickers, 90210 stickers on them, and all types of good stuff, man.
That's awesome.
So I love that.
That would be a good topic.
I'll talk trench art all day.
The AK Corner.
Yeah,
trench art.
Bring me on that because I'm a collector of trench art and the Meridian Defense. It was like Christmas when I went there. Tony goes, all right, I know you like trench art. I'm like, yeah. He goes, he opened this big freaking QuadCon, right? Connex box. And there's these tons of just nothing but furniture in there, right? He goes, have fun. I'll see you in an hour. And it was all trench art wood. I'm talking to the ceiling. I was going through finding, I couldn't even tell. And I got to pick my wood. I found one with a big black widow spider on it and stuff like that. It was just hand carved in there. So pretty cool stuff. We found letters from girlfriends in the buttstocks and in the cleaning kit buttstocks, all types of good shit, man. So you guys check out our latest
history.
Yeah, and I do a little history piece on trench arts in our latest issue of Skillset because it's fucking awesome, man, and I dig it. So,
are you familiar with Factory 47?
Yeah, I actually have a couple of their shirts, believe it or not.
Okay, so they do our shirts for our AK corner.
Yeah, I have the second one right there in the
this one
right there. Yeah, I have that one.
Okay,
I think I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not. The guy who prints it, I'll just say that. The guy who
James.
prints the shirt, or used to print the shirts, he's the one who hooked me up and said, "Hey, will you wear a few of these?" And I like the shirts; they're amazing. So
yeah, James, he's one of the sponsors of our AK Corner too, and obviously, he does doing our shirts and our hoodies for us.
That's awesome.
He does our tumblers too with the logo. But what I like about it is, they've got the different factory logos.
Yeah, look at that.
They're on the back.
Most of those, yeah. Look at those Arsenal marks. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That is cool, man, for sure.
But maybe we could talk to him, maybe like doing trench art shirts. That would be.
Man, I got pictures for him once. Yeah, because I got some shit. I mean, I like I said, I'm a collector of trench art, man. I just think it's cool, man. I don't know. I just think, man, hey, you got some. Man, I gotta go to this website. Damn, I haven't been there. That's some great.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
Shit.
use code Leadhead and you get 10% off.
Done, man. That's what a segue.
Yeah. I think we can probably hook you up, so don't worry about that.
No, that's all good, man. I pay full price. I'm good. But I like to segue into your code though. That was good, though.
Well, I plug them where I can. That's what makes the world go around. Like you said, money.
Pay bills, man. Everybody's got to pay bills, right?
Got to pay those bills. But definitely, James, he's a huge AK guy. He's a fanatic into the history, and he really likes the older ones and the Western Bloc ones too. So we'll get him on that episode with you. That's going to be a good episode. We'll make that happen.
Hey, hope you got enough time because I'll run my mouth forever, man, on that.
Well, like I said, we've done 3.5-hour shows before. So as long as the information's coming, it's flowing, we're getting leducated because that's what we do here.
Ooh, we
educate the uneducated.
I like that, dude. That's amazing.
So
shit, that's good, man.
So let's go to, I made a post asking for some listener questions.
Okay.
And I apologize because I didn't do it sooner. I should have done it 2 days ago.
No worries.
Because you know how social media is. So let's go to, am I still sharing my screen?
Do not. I see you right now.
Okay. Let me go to Instagram.
What is that pink AK in the background? I got to ask. Is that pink?
Oh, no. Check this out. Hold on. I'll grab it.
I had to say something, man. I'm like, all this whole time I've been looking at it. I said, there's like a pink AK or some type of weird, I don't know what. I can't tell. It looks like a strawberry shortcake or something. I can't.
This is my Magnum PI.
Oh, damn. There you go. Now I can see. Oh, dude.
I also call it the Aloha Snack Bar.
Dude, that is some Hawaiian print from your ass right there. That is amazing. Where'd you get that at? Well, who did that for you, man?
I did it. So
did you?
Have you ever hydro dipped before?
I have not, no.
So
I know the process. I've seen the process, but I've never personally done it.
Yeah, I love hydro dipping because it's so it's fast and easy to do. So I just hydro dipped it, man.
That's cool, man.
Kind of like this Hawaiian print. I call it my Aloha Snack Bar, aka my Magnum PI.
So I got
like his t-shirts.
I wish I had it here.
This is a Polish Rodham from Rodham.
Oh, okay, nice. That's badass. I have two AKs coming from Meridian Defense that are I hate to say this because I hope someone doesn't beat me to the punch because they're doing it right now, but they're 100% Adidas themed, as I say that.
It's gonna be cool.
100% Adidas themed, man. They're so.
That's gonna be awesome.
I'm trying to do a reveal on them, but yeah, they'll be pretty dope, man.
What color are you going with?
Well, I'm a black and white Adidas guy, so that's what we're going with right there.
Black and white?
Yeah. So, but the way we're doing it, I've seen them before. I've seen some Adidas ones before, but this one's a little bit. I try to take it above and beyond with this one, but I'll wait to get it so I can do. I'll do the. Maybe I'll do it on your AK.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, that'd be awesome. All right, let's go to the post.
All right.
It's right here. I got a new phone too, so I told you I went to Georgia.
Yeah.
And we made a stop. Actually, before we even got out of the driveway, I put my phone on top of the truck.
Uh-oh.
And I don't know if you can see that or not.
Ooh, yeah,
but,
I see that.
We turned onto the main road, and it fell off, and it got like 5 or 6 nice trucks right there. I got this new phone.
Really cool case. I'm like, look at that case. It looks like it's shattered, but
right. It's kind of like your cover where you distressed your cover, that Michael Rooker one.
Yeah, exactly.
I did that on purpose. Yeah. All right, let's see. So Giddy Up says, thank you for your service. Talking to you.
Awesome.
What are your favorite stories from the Marines? Favorite weapon system that you got to handle? Giddy Up asked that.
Giddy Up. All right. Great questions, by the way. Well, all right. So I had I'll just say, I'll try to make this brief. I did 20 years. I got a lot of really good stories.
You got a lot of good stories.
Yeah, but the invasion of Iraq was different for me, and to the point where and this isn't actually the story I'll tell you, but I'll say this another time. But I actually hitchhiked into war, right? Which is a great story in itself. It's actually told in Generation Kill. If you guys ever heard that.
I love that. Yeah.
Okay. So there's a guy playing.
It's on
HBO. Yeah, a guy playing me episode 6. Gunny Swarr at the time. But we did a 9-day. Well, it's a long story. I'll say that for because it's a good half an hour story. But in that, we're on a 9-day trek trying to find our unit. Right, we were just traveling through Iraq. No food, no comms. We were the most. I was with a reserve unit, a recon reserve unit that had no freaking clue. Their leadership had no freaking clue what was going on. All they need to know is like we need to link up with 1st Recon Battalion, and
that was what that whole movie was kind of about.
Right, that was it. Right, so
direction.
Yeah. So we would stop. It was funny because we would stop. We had no food. We're starving to death, man. And the war was so fast, man. It was crazy. People on the move. You could never bed down and find anybody, right? So we would stop army units, like supply units coming up, and we're like, "Hey, man," we'd stop. I'm like, "Where you guys heading?" "Well, we're going to 20 clicks up this checkpoint." We're like, "Oh, man, there's been ambushes all up and down that road. You guys don't have enough heavy guns." They're like, and you see these guys start to shake and get nervous. They're like, "Hey, man, we'll escort you, but we just need 6 boxes of MREs. I need some armor." So we just pick and choose. And sure enough, we did that for like 9 days straight. Anyway, but we were one day, and when we do like weird odd jobs just to get food. So we found this other army unit that said, "Hey, we gotta," and I'll make this is my story here. I think I like, man. But we're like, "Hey, we need your 4th Recon Battalion. You guys need to go guard this bridge." Right. And it was like a highway overpass. We're like, okay. And it goes, "There's a village over here. They're giving us good intel. But the Republican Guard, these guys, the insurgency basically at the time or whatever you want to call it, basically it was Republican Guard. They would just go in civilian clothes. They know that they're giving intel and they may come in and attack. They may do something. So can you guys guard this bridge in this little village right next to it?" We're like, "Yeah, okay, whatever. We'll do it for a night. Give us some food and this and that." So I'm sitting on top of the bridge with my guys, and we're just kind of hanging out. And then we had another guys down at this right next to the village, and I see these kids coming up, and they're talking to these guys, and I see them talking. I'm like, "Oh, that's good. A little human relations shit going on there, right?"
Yeah.
And I see the kids walk away, and then I hear this dad comes out of a hut yelling and screaming at our guys, and this is about 100 yards away. And I'm like, what is going on? I don't understand what he's saying. He is losing his shit. And I'm like, what the hell is going on, man? Behind us was a highway where helicopters would land, and we use that landing strip, right?
Like, who stole this motherfucker's sandals? Yeah.
Right, yeah. So this dude's just losing his shit. I'm like, what the fuck? And then he goes back in the house, and all of a sudden he comes out the back of this house with an RPG. Now, he wasn't aiming, he just had it. Well, our guys are like, holy shit. So we had a Mark 19 gunner. He sees it. He's like, RPG. And he unloads a whole can. If there's no RPG, a big can of 40 Mike into this village. This guy, well, he tried to unload it into the village. He didn't even sight his shit. It was he lobbed all his stuff over the village into the next little village, right? Peppered everything. Just like, and this was the guys that actually giving us the intel. Right. So we just totally peppered, destroyed almost half the shit. Come to find out, I'm sitting there. So 2 things have been going on. Okay. So during this, we had helicopters landing. All of a sudden, I see this guy running up. He's an old dude with gray hair, and he's in a flight suit, right? And I'm sitting there watching. I got my gun up, but nothing's happening. I'm just like watching these guys just go off, right? I'm like, oh my god,
you're just watching it play out, right?
Yeah, I'm just like, what is going on? So this guy comes up and he's like, "Where's the firefight?" And I'm just like, well, it's kind of that way. And he runs by me, and I'm like, wait, was that fucking Ollie North? And it was Oliver fucking North, man. He ran down there because he was a Fox News correspondent, I guess, during the war. And he runs down. By the time he gets down there to the guy with the 40 mic, right? The Mark 17 or Mark 19. It was over. So he comes back, and I'm like, holy shit, it's Ollie North, man. I was starstruck, dude, at the time, right? I'm like, this guy's awesome,
sure.
right? Yeah, and this is 03, right? And then he comes up, and he's just like, fuck, any of you guys got a dip? I need some Copenhagen. I'm like, yeah. I want to reach on my shit, man. So I give him a dip. He hangs out with us. He's just like,
I can.
Yeah, it was great. So we had these little disposable like wedding cameras at the time. We didn't have cell phones, right? So we get a picture of him, and the whole time he was just like, he's feeding me this shit, and it was so funny because I had witnesses. We have a couple of guys there, and he's just like, this war is over. Saddam's dead. I guarantee he's dead. We'll be done with this war in the next couple months. Yeah, 17 years later. Anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Good so call, Ollie.
They find out the top is off. So, Ollie, he takes back off. He gets in a helicopter and goes off to where he does. And then we're kind of like high on that. We're like, this is dope. We had a little exchange of fire. We got Ollie North. I go down to these guys. I'm like, what the fuck happened? And they're just like, oh, man, the dad's pissed, man. He comes out all mad. I'm like, why? He goes, oh, we gave his sons a couple hustlers. And I'm like, this is an Arab country, dude. You can't give hustler magazines to these kids.
That's a big no-no. Yeah.
So that whole thing caused a firefight. We totally that village stopped talking to us. We had to leave. It was ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
it wasn't the shooting; it was the hustlers. It was the nail in the coffin.
I guess you can't give like little 12-year-old kids porno mags. I don't know. Whatever, man. So
but boners are illegal.
Yeah, I'm like so. But, I got tons of stories like that, man. Like I said,
I want to rewind. You said that one of the characters was based on you, and
yeah. So. We had
Generation Kill.
Yeah, and Generation Kill. So I was with First Recon Battalion, and we had they started embedding reporters with us, right? So we had a Rolling Stone reporter, which we knew was a liberal magazine. We're like, we didn't want.
I remember that character. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we're like, we don't want him, but guess what? You got to have him. So we're like, all right, here's the deal. We're going to rotate. His name was Evan Wright. We're going to rotate him between companies like every week. So he really doesn't get the scoop, right? He kind of gets a little bit of scoop, and that's it, right? Well, the war kicked off, and it was a shit show, and we were getting the shit shot out of us constantly because they would use Recon Battalion as a recon by fire, I guess. Basically, General Mattis, he would go, all right, drive through that town. So they don't know what. We were the first people to drive through this town, and it was full of insurgency, right? Republican guard guys. The first company to drive through wouldn't get shot up because people were like, no fucking way, guys are just driving through this town. The second company were like, guess what? Bah, bah, bah. It was destroyed. And you saw that in the TV series, right? And all that stuff. So we forgot about the guy. He stayed in that one company, in that one platoon, in that one Humvee the entire war. And then the whole company, or the whole, guys he's with are all like, Lance Corporals and, the younger guys. So you didn't get the brass side of the story. You got the basically the guys in the warehouse. That's where the best stories are at, right?
Right.
That's what he got. So he's sitting the whole time. He's getting shot up, blown up the whole time. And he writes a really good book that our brass hated because it was true, right? You know what I'm saying? It was like, I would say the Lance Corporal view of the war. And
the dirty truths.
Yeah. And HBO picked it up, and then sure enough, man, I think episode 6 they have my guy in there. When we meet up with Recon Battalion, and our guys that roll up in the Humvee with the Longhorns on the front, that was us.
Yeah. That was you. Okay. All right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
They actually wanted me to play my part. It was actually kind of nice. So they were like, hey, I knew the whole production. I knew what was going on. We had a couple of my guys that were actually Rudy Reyes, and everybody was actually in the movie, right? Eric Cucker and all these guys. And they were like, hey, they'll let you play your part. You want to play your part? And I'm like, yeah, well, you got to go down to South Africa because that's where they filmed it, and you got to be there for 2 months. And I'm like, I'm still active duty, bro. I go, I can't do it, right? So I had to pass on my part and all that stuff. You know what the fucked up thing is?
That sucked. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like the guy that played me. I can't remember his name right now. I actually reached out to him, right? To like, hey man, this is the guy you played. The fucking guy didn't even get back to me. I'm like, you asshole.
What a douche. He's probably nobody anyway, right?
Yeah, he probably. I haven't looked him up in years, man. But I got to go to the premiere up in Hollywood and do all that red carpet shit.
Sweet.
It was neat, man.
That was before you got into doing all this stuff.
Yeah, I was still in active duty at the time, so it was it was cool, to have that, and it's a good, people ask me how the miniseries how accurate is it the representation of the real happened? I'm gonna say 85%, which is pretty good for Hollywood, man.
Sure.
They went a little above and beyond. Come to find out, that Sergeant Major, right? Everybody hated. He actually turned out to be a pedophile. He's in jail right now, by the way.
Oh,
so,
really?
Good for He's getting a federal pound in the ass prison. We didn't know that either. Sergeant Major Sixta, hope he rots in hell. But we found out like 10 years later, he was diddling little kids, and but he played an asshole in the movie, and he was a douchebag, right? So,
the general guy who was
you talking about our CO?
No, the general that would pop in and he talk like this.
Oh yeah, that was our CEO. Yeah. So
okay. That's not the guy that was the pedophile, was it?
No. The Sergeant Major, the guy was like, trim your mustaches, right? Remember that?
Mustaches.
Tuck your shirts in while in the fire.
That guy, yeah.
Yeah, he would actually do that. He was a dickhead, man.
I actually watched a series the other day that the guy that had that voice, your CO, was in Banshee, the TV series. Banshee I think it was a Cinemax.
Oh, the actor?
He was like in the last few episodes or something. He like played this Aryan
oh, really?
Dude or something. But I kept trying to place where I saw him.
Uh-huh.
I was like, I've seen this dude somewhere. So I had to look him up.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, Generation Kill.
Yeah.
And this was just yesterday that I did this. So I mean, that's just
weird.
Yeah. I was like,
so our CO he had throat cancer. And that's why he actually talked like that. So he got the nickname the Godfather because he talked like the Godfather.
Yeah.
And so that's how we got our names for units, the gangsters, the hitmen. You get their call signs for units and all that stuff. So pretty awesome. He was a great CO. The guy was just hardcore. Remind me of a little bit of a General Mattis, where I know General Mattis got a bad rap for everybody. It doesn't, some people are like, fuck this guy because he kind of went against Trump, and that's politics, man. But in the war, I'm telling you right now, there was no harder motherfucker than General Mattis, man.
But I mean, let's face it, Trump is a douche. A
lot of people have a hard time swallowing his stuff, man.
Yeah, right. And you got somebody who's hardcore military like that. He's not going to rub elbows with Trump. It's just not going to happen.
One thing, about Mattis is he didn't give a shit if you're the president of Mars. If he didn't like you, he's going to say fuck off. And he was just this guy. During First Marine Division, not to be long-winded about this, but during the whole war, the whole invasion, you are not allowed. If you're in the First Marine Division, you had to dig a hole, we call it a ranger grave, at night, right? You could never sleep in a bed, a cot, and basically that is to protect you from mortar fire because we were getting rained on mortars constantly, right? So, and that, we're all sitting there like, we're all digging holes at night to fucking sleep or during the day or whatever. I'm like, we know that brass is not. Well, when we finally linked up, it was through Baghdad and all that stuff. We linked up with headquarters where I got to actually see inside General Mattis's tent, right? In the morning, he was actually getting up, and this fucking guy was getting up off the ground. He was sleeping on the ground just like everybody else. And I was like, holy shit, man. 4-star general or 3-star at the time, I think it was. I was like, that's okay.
Yeah.
My hat's off, man. But he would do shit that he would jump on a berm. He'd tell the 51st Mechanized Iraqi Division or whatever. Like, bring your commander and meet me on this berm, and me and you will fucking duke it out, mano to mano. I was like,
that's awesome.
Ballsy, dude. I love that shit, right? As a Marine, you're just like, fuck yeah, So, it was good. It was cool being underneath that guy. He put us in the harm's way a lot, but when you join the Marines, that's what you're there for, right?
That's
you're
not
supposed
to
be handing out fucking, humanitarian MREs. You're supposed to destroy people. So, close with and destroy the enemy. That was our deal, right? So,
but there you go, giddy up.
Giddy up.
Several good stories right there. That's awesome. Love that.
It was
let's
good.
Let's go to Facebook now, and Sam Russell. I don't know, Sam. Seems like you might know Sam. I don't know. He says, I was a machine gunner in the Marines from 2013 to 2017.
All right.
He said, I read painfully slow, even compared to slow readers. As a Marine and now magazine editor, how did you learn to read? How can I learn to read? I want to be like you someday when I grow up. Thanks.
That's awesome.
Do you know this guy?
No, I don't know him, but you gotta eat the red crayons. Those make you smart, man. All right.
All right, so Edward Reagan Burton says, seeing how I'm not a Marine and only ate Play-Doh as a kid, do all crayons taste the same, or do they taste like the color?
No, it tastes like the color. And then if you follow it up with licking a window, man, I mean, your day is done, right? This is. I love all the Marine jokes. It's people are like, oh man, you're offending. I'm like, you can't offend me. There's nothing. One, I'm from West Virginia. You think I've heard every West Virginia joke in the world, right? You know, it's like, you know, of course I fuck my sister. What else do we do in West Virginia? Anyway, sorry, that's my family tree is like a light post, man. Come on, man. So
it's a toothpick.
Yeah. And then of course, you know, the Marine jokes, the window licking, the crayon eating, man. You can't offend us. We laugh at it and we bust our own balls about it, man. So it's good. So
my good buddy Marcus Fox, he's a Marine.
Yeah.
Country music singer.
Nice.
He's actually into growing weed now out in down in Alabama.
There's a lot of guys do that. Yeah, there's a lot of guys.
Big money in that, man.
Taking advantage. I actually know a lot of dudes, a lot of Marines, a lot of recon Marines that I serve with run security now in California and in Vegas.
Guarding their monies.
Yeah, they go, you know, nondescript suburban vans filled with $1 million, and they're all, it's pretty wild, and they make a shitload of money just escorting weed money, you know, up and down the coast and all that stuff. So
billions of dollars, man.
Hey, whatever, you know, everybody's got to make the living. Most states, hell, even Arizona, it's legal now here too. So it's like, you know, whatever, you know, it's weed, big fucking deal. That's why I say, you know,
I think it's legal here in Tennessee now too.
Yeah,
to grow it.
I think so. It probably is. And look, there's nothing. I was afraid here in Arizona when it became legal because I was like, oh man, it's going to be dudes on the corner, you know, fucking just smoking weed. You wouldn't even know it's legal here, honestly, you know, unless
it's like that anywhere. So it's no big. It's not a big deal.
It's not, man. At the end of the day,
it's just like, you know, they villainized something that didn't need to be villainized. If you go back and look at the history of why they did it,
right?
It was some politician's daughter or something I don't know. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, same thing with firearms. You know, all these laws and regulations that they put on firearms, you go back to the history of why they did it. Sure. It's just because somebody got butt hurt over somebody else because they didn't get what they wanted. Yeah. And they're like, I'll show them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So stupid. But yes, you can go, you know, shoot heroin up and in San Francisco right on the street, no one gives a fuck, you know. So I'm like, get out of here, dude. You know, it's like, it's crazy. Weed is the least of our problems right now.
Absolutely, yeah. So are firearms.
Yeah, exactly.
Firearms are the least of our problems. So I've got this line of questioning that I asked my new guest. You are a new guy. All and right. This is my new guy, and sometimes a girl. Questions.
Ooh, I like it. All right.
So the first one. Oh, go ahead.
No, I hope so off the cuff. Hope I can do it well. All right, here we go.
Nah, these are just off the cuff. You know, the first thing comes to mind. Oh, and we talked about your military background. So you do have a military background.
Yes.
Thank you for your service, especially on this weekend. Make sure everyone goes out and memorializes. If Absolutely. You don't have a family member, I'm sure you've got a friend or you know somebody who's got one that served their country and gave the ultimate sacrifice.
That's right.
So go out and show your support and barbecue, ski, shoot, sit down, watch TV, jerk off, whatever you want to do. Enjoy your freedoms.
Live free, man. That's what they gave their lives for, right there. 100%.
That's right. Anything else you want to add to your military service?
Oh no, I don't like. I mean, everybody's like, I don't like talking about my military service because I just did it for the last 2 hours. But
it's good. It's good.
You know, I had a fun time, man. I had a good time. You know, in it, and it's funny because it kind of saved me, man. I was kind of a shitbag. I always say at the beginning of my career.
A lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah, and I always laugh. Those in the military know, especially the Marines. I was a 5-year Lance Corporal, right? So in other words, I did 5 years as an E3, where most people were at sergeant level and shit like that by that time. I was just like, I was out, but I was salty. I was tough. I was a great field Marine, but I wasn't a good garrison Marine. But it's changed me though, because then I realized it's like, all right, hey, your enlistment is coming up. I'm like, well, shit, I don't want to go back to West Virginia. I don't want to go work at Burger King. I'll just do another 4 years. Then I'll do another 4 years. Next thing you know, I fucking love this thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't want to get out, you know? So it's like.
I'm getting a signing bonus. Yeah, I'll do another 4 years. Here we go.
Yeah, I never got one of those, though. That's
oh, bastards. Yeah. You didn't negotiate hard enough.
No, no shit.
It's kind of like with your cell phone service. When you go to your cell phone, he's like, you know, do you guys have a retention program?
Yeah.
Customer retention program.
Right. Yeah. No shit. Right. Where's mine? No. But I enjoyed it, and you know, I've been removed from the military I retired in 2011. So it's been what, 10 years now. God, I'm getting old, right? But it's, man, if you're unsure about life, man, that's why I always tell people out there, I'm not a recruiter, but if you're unsure about, man, I just don't know if I can make it or I can handle the civilian world, go join the military. Go do just an enlistment, man. And what it will do for you, one, it's going to give you some discipline that you may not realize you had. And I know it did for me. And two, you're going to hit a network of people, and that's going to really help you when you get out, man. You know, not only that, there's VA benefits, and that shit. I know that was rough for a while. It's actually being pretty much squared away, or under Trump, it
getting
was
better. Yeah.
Yeah. And but the networking and all that stuff, and then watch what it does for your individual patriotism as well. You know, because you're going to realize all the shit that you sacrificed, and now you're going to see these blue-haired fucking, you know, commies.
Take it for granted or don't even realize how good they've got it. Yeah, absolutely.
And
now, would you say that your military career played a big part into where you are today?
100%. And I have so much drive now, right? And to the point where I don't, you know, my wife asked me, he's like, when are you going to like literally retire? And I'm like, when I'm dead. There's no fuck. I'll be 70, God, if I can live that long or whatever. I'm still going to be doing something. I just love.
Cross our fingers.
Yeah, right. I love engaging with people. I love out there. I love having problems to solve. I love like taking on challenges that I'm like, man, this is like the magazine. This ain't gonna work. We all of us looked at each other across the table. Gina Marie, Ben. We're like, we're gonna give us a year and we'll be done. You know what I'm saying? And then we're in year 5 now. You know, I may be done next year, but it doesn't matter. I'll pick up something else and roll with it. And that's something that the military's taught me, man. You know, I get up every morning, and regardless of if it's going to be a hard day, bad day, I don't know what's going on, I'm going to go fucking make some money.
Figure out how to adapt and overcome. And that's what you've done. And, yeah, go ahead. You never spent.
I never understand driving down the street and I see a dude in the corner that's better shape than I am holding a sign, ask for money. You know, I'm like, you're fucking lazy as shit, man. I go, there's cars to be washed. There's 1,000 ways to make money.
Especially right now. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, so I don't get that. And maybe that's my military side. I don't know, but man, it's done something. If you're in a rut and you don't know what to do in your life, you're young, you're in your 20s, whatever, you try it. Give it a shot. You'll be pleasantly surprised.
Pick one and go with it.
Yeah. And it's going to be a hard life. I mean, you choose the Marines. I tell people it's not an easy life, but you adapt, just like prison, right? You adapt and you fucking, you know, get institutionalized, and then, but the network, it's like prison.
Just like prison. I've been there too, done that.
Sometimes. Anyway, so depends if you're on a ship or not. That's a Navy. Anyway, but the networking you're going to have, I could go anywhere right now, and if I apply for a job, let's just say, and that boss is a Marine and I'm a Marine, there's already a connection. And it's probably a good chance, unless I'm a really total piece of shit, I'm going to get that job. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's the stuff that I love, man. You know, it's like one of those things. So, yeah, it's definitely, it's changed my life for sure. You've seen the worst of the world, and you've seen the best of the world, man. So now you realize when like, well, this whole world's burning, you're like, oh no, it's not. I've seen a burning world before, bro. We're fine. We'll be all right. We'll get through this.
This ain't nothing. This is scratch.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's just a flesh wound.
There we go. My
So when it comes to pop culture, what is your go-to, whether it's a movie, a book, a magazine, TV show, video game, whatever it may be, just to kind of escape and do your thing?
100% horror movies. 100%, man. Now, don't get me wrong. I love 80s action movies. I'll digest a Invasion USA, or you know, a good Chuck Norris, or a good Seagal, or any you know, throughout the week. But I grew up on horror movies. I was a weird kid. I was a skate punk, you know, which is almost exact opposite of joining. I did join the military. I actually joined the military just to defy my parents. You know, that type of shit, right? It's a 20-year deal, but.
They're like, you showed us, didn't you, son?
Exactly. You know? We actually laugh about it with my parents now. I'm like, yeah, I fucking did this as a fuck you to you guys. And I'm like, now look at it, you know? So I kind of like, thank you, you know? So, but horror movies, dude, I actually run a horror movie podcast as well.
Are you serious?
It's called The Death List. It is the most un-PC horror movie podcast in the world. Definitely listen to it if you want to get offended, because it's fun. It's good. I'm actually opening up this will be my 4th business that I'm getting ready to open up. I collect a lot of weird horror oddities and, you know, these weird shit, sideshow banners from the 1950s and all this stuff. I have a collection that could fill 4,000 square feet that I'm actually opening a store and starting to sell this summer, and a storefront.
Like memorabilia kind of stuff?
Memorabilia, a lot of old school Americana from like old freak shows and shit like that, sideshow gaff. I mean, I have more stuff. I have like $50,000 worth of shit that I gotta
nice.
sell. And
nice.
I have fun. I go out and I pick. I do all that, you know, that weird American picker type of shit. But I go for the dark oddity. So a lot of people don't know that side of me, man. But it's like a hobby of mine that I've turned into a business, and it's making money. So we're gonna take it to the next level.
What's the most unique piece of that collectability that you own?
Wow, man,
or your favorite?
Dude, I have. I say my favorite. Probably my favorite right now is a seance table. All right, you know, a seance when they get there and they kind of all put their hands together and they try to call in the dead, you know, or whatever.
So they actually make tables for that. A seance.
They made a table in 1931. Right, I have a
specifically for seances.
Yes, it has handprints. I
did not know this. Okay.
Yeah, it's the creepiest, jankiest fucking table. It is the only one in America. I have searched for 3 years now to find another one. It was found in upstate New York in an attic. It had a little water damage. The lady's like, I don't know, just get rid of it. I bought it for like $400, and I've had offers up to almost $8,000 for it right now, and I won't sell the thing. Shit. So, but it's like, you know, I don't believe it. Honestly, I mean, being a horror fan, you think I'd be all the dark energy and I don't believe in that shit. I just love the culture behind it. It's fun. Yeah. It's like, and I love a horror movie type of stuff. So, but I have shit like that. I mean, you wouldn't believe it. Like I said, I have sideshow banners from the 1950s of freak show stuff that are worth, you know, $8,000 to $10,000. Just all these high end weird stuff, man. It's
do you have them listed? Do you have a website for this stuff listed?
We're building it right now. Yeah. It's going to be called Terror Trader and all that stuff. Follow our podcast, the Death List. It's on iTunes and all that good stuff.
I'm gonna start following that. Definitely.
And it's fun. We have a good time on it, and it's you know, we got some.
Send me some pictures of that stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I'll fire some out.
I'll post them with the show notes.
Okay, yeah. It's crazy stuff, and it's like people come into the Skillset headquarters here, and I have a whole like 1,000 square feet. I dedicate just to store this shit, and they're just like, they get the weirdest vibes. Like, what the fuck am I getting into? I'm like, it's cool, trust me, but it's fun, man. It's shrunken heads and all types of weird shit like that, you know.
Dude, so growing up, I had a neighbor down the road from me, and he was like, you remember who Merle Perkins was? You remember the Mutual of Omaha?
Yeah.
Wild Kingdom.
Yeah.
Merle, and he would travel all over the world, and he would go to these different African tribes and you know, stuff like that. So there was a dude like that was my neighbor. He kind of like did that shit.
Oh, really?
But he had like this collection of stuff from all over the world that he had gotten from all these different, you know, tribes and stuff like that. He had real shrunken heads. He had like 4 or 5 jars.
That's amazing, dude.
Of shrunken heads.
Wow.
In his office, and I would get so freaked out every time we go to his house.
You don't realize how much those things are worth right now. Those things are worth a lot of money. If you get a real shrunken, and they're not illegal. Oh, yeah. Believe it or not, they're actually legal. They're hard to import. I have shit stuck in customs right now because I try to import shit like that all the time. I have like about $3,000 in customs. I'm freaking out about, and they're just like, they don't know what the hell they have. They're like, what we got? I'm like, so I got to go literally to San Francisco.
Like, this can't be real.
This
ain't real.
It's crazy. So, they're cool, and you know what? There's a big market for it, and that's why we're starting a business out of it. And you know, once again, I can't sit idle. I gotta do something, and I just can't enjoy a hobby. I gotta take it to the next level. But that's how I am, man.
That's awesome. I'm kind of that way too. When I get into a hobby, something I enjoy, I go overboard with it. I do that with GI Joes.
Oh, forget about it.
Growing up, you remember the 3 3/4-inch GI Joes when we were growing up? So
the little ones.
The small.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've got some. There's a case over there. You can't see it right now, but it's the little shadow case. It's got a few in it, but
you got some money right there, man.
Yeah, I was big into that. I loved the GI Joe, but I didn't realize because I lived in a little redneck small town, and there was no Toys R Us or anything like Walmart or nothing like that. So I didn't realize how much they had made. I thought there was just a couple of figures, a plane, and a Jeep.
Right.
And then when I got into college. Graduated college, I don't know how I found out. I went to a flea market or something, or a comic book store, and I was like, what the hell is that? And it was like a huge space station.
Oh, yeah.
And it had like a crawler with a shuttle that you could launch and all this. And they're like, that's from G.I. Joe. I was like, no way. I said, I would have had that.
Yeah.
They're like, no, dude. see that, and there's like a 7-foot long aircraft carrier.
Yes, I remember that, dude.
I was like, no fucking way. I was like, why didn't I have this shit growing up? So I started at that point. It started my fast. I started collecting them, and I probably had the largest G.I. Joe collection in at least this side of the world.
No shit.
It was huge.
God, man.
It was ginormous, dude. It was ridiculous.
We did a whole
thousands. I had all the figures many times over, and I got into the foreign figures because they made them in other countries. I was like, oh, look at that version. I don't have that version yet of Snake Eyes or Storm Shadow.
Oh shit, dude.
It was ridiculous. Yeah, and I sold it.
Oh, did you?
When I after my divorce, probably about 10, 12 years ago, and I was just like, I sold it to a comic book store, like for a quarter of what it was worth.
Yeah, that's the bad part, man. It's like you could piece this, and I always love that. So you're a collector just like me, and my wife's always like, see, she doesn't have the collector bug, right? And I go, it's kind of a dude thing. I know there's a lot of women that do collect and all that shit too, but it's like something about being a completist, and that's what we are, right? Yeah. It's like, okay, I can collect a couple G.I. Joes. No, I need all of them.
Gotta have all of them,
and
not just this country, but every country.
Yeah,
gotta have all of them.
It's the thrill of the hunt. That's what it is, right? To go find, and all of a sudden, you're searching forums, and all of a sudden something pops up that you don't have. You're like, holy shit! And it's a weird feeling that I can't explain to my old lady. I try to explain to her. I'm like, it is
like that. I would buy an entire collection just to get one piece that I need.
Yes, man. And I know people out there listening are the same way. You get whether it's car parts or whether it's actual weapons sometimes or GI Joes or Transformers. I mean, it's cool out there, and it's nice to see that stuff making a resurgence and the value of it, man. Like I said, you sold it for probably a quarter of what it's worth. Imagine if you held on to that stuff now, 10 years of food, dude. I mean, we'd be
I'd be buying my vacation home.
The show. But it's cool like that, and I love that. The 80s are hot right now. The 90s are going to be hot here eventually. It's just as generations go, right? I mean, I remember when my dad, growing up, he'd collect old cars and get an old shit box of cars. I'm like, why?
Cars are always going to be hot.
It's what he drove when he was a kid in the 50s, 60s or whatever. And I'm like, I didn't get it at the time, but now I'm going to go back. I want all the old 80s horror movie stuff and all that, stuff that I grew up with, man. Just like the G.I. Joe stuff and whatnot. So there's something in our brains that works, that we want this stuff, and to be a completist where I got to have it all is such a fun thing to do, and it keeps your mind busy. There's nothing wrong with it, man. People are, people are always like, oh, you're a hoarder when it comes to shit like that. I'm like, not really. I do sell stuff too. It's hard sometimes. Like,
it is, dude. It's so hard.
But it's still fun, man. It's
like I got 5 of them. I can't let one of them go.
Yeah. Even in an AK world, right? I mean, at one point I had probably
guns are the worst. Yeah,
I probably had 50 plus AKs at one point. All com block, old school shit. Right? I was trying to get every variant, but only 7.62 by 3.9. Only 7.62 by 3.9 because I want one day to go back on the 5.45, right? I'm saying to get I can start my whole collection over again, right? I'm saying? So it's and people
now you do both. You just do both.
Yeah, I know, right? So any 74 stuff I can go through and now I can start over again. I mean, I hope once again that's just the way I'm wired, dude.
What's your favorite horror movie?
Whoa.
What's the one you just sit down is like, if I was going to watch one, if I only have one to watch ever again, what's it going to be?
It'd be the 1974 Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You can't go wrong with that. It's the grittiest, shot on like 16 millimeter. It was not supposed to be anything out there, but it's just dreadful. That and The Evil Dead. Evil Dead is another one that just you watch, you're just like, oh my God, this is the most horrifying thing ever, but I need to watch it again. Probably seen both of those hundreds of times, and I could watch them right now. So, and I like all 80s. I'm a big slasher guy, so you give me the Friday the 13th, the Halloweens, the, your real mainstream stuff I love, and I go.
What about Phantasm?
Fucking love Phantasm. I love the Phantasm.
That's like, that is the most scariest movie to me.
The Tall Man. The Tall Man.
The Tall Man, the greatest.
Yeah. And that CUDA that's in it is one of the dopest fucking CUDAs ever. I have a buddy named Rudy Diamonds who's a big horror collector, and he's a jeweler, so he's rich as hell. He actually rebuilt that CUDA to the T, to exact everything, man. from the Phantasm movie. Yeah,
That's awesome.
it's a great. Yeah, it's totally. He couldn't sell it for what he put into it, right now. But it's just like cool.
It turned into like a franchise. They did like 5 of those. I think.
Yeah, they got really shitty. Look, man.
Oh yeah, after the first one, they was
I
just
tell
like,
people watch the first one. The first Phantasm is awesome.
Stop. Yeah.
Yeah, just stop, man. Enjoy that. And
Those
'cause you don't
little
wanna watch
Jawa things that ran around, that's what scared the shit out of me. They were so scary,
freaky,
man.
right? Yeah, those are
Oh
awesome.
my
Man.
God, I couldn't sleep for weeks after watching.
know,
watching
right?
that. I actually watched it the other night. It's about a month ago,
Yeah.
and I was like, all right, because I never watched the other ones either. I was like, oh, I'll watch the other ones too. So I started watching those, just like you said, man. They were just like, oh,
I can't even get, and I'm a diehard horror fan. I can't even get through you get like 3 or 4. I'm like, I'm done. I'm good, But the first one, I mean, when you see the tall man pick up the coffin by himself and walk it, over the you're just like, you sort of see the superhuman strength of this fucking whatever this being is. It's like, this is crazy, dude. As a kid, you're watching this going, oh my God, this is freaky, man. And I think all this comes back to nostalgia shit for me, right? I mean, I like modern horror. Don't get me wrong. I watch a lot of it, but the old 80s stuff when I grew up, once again, we're about the same age, you're a little bit older, whatever. But, we all kind of grew up in the 80s, man. And it was like, that's stuff right there that I just remember going to my basement, throwing a VHS tape in, turn off the lights, and just like, oh God, just getting fucking freaked out, right?
The chills.
Yeah, it was fun, man. So, anyway.
Do you do the fun houses, the scary house, the horror houses, things
Absolutely.
like that?
Yeah, I'm a connoisseur when it comes to that too, man. I travel all over the country sometimes to go to.
You're an adrenaline junkie, aren't you?
I like it, man.
Yeah.
Right?
Jumping out of airplanes.
Yeah, there's some haunted houses I'll travel to Texas for, or I'll do a couple states just to go check it out. And my buddy, Ben Turpek, the assistant editor of Skillset, he's even worse than I am when it comes to this stuff, man. And in fact, he's the one that drags me to a lot of this. He does these lock-ins for these haunted house or these like real haunted houses at a ghost tour. We'll lock you in this haunted house from the 1800s, shit like that at night. Yeah, I don't do much of that.
You would be good on one of those like ghost hunter shows.
I would do it. We actually thought about it, man. We're like, man, we just ran out of time, but to go do that.
You should do a Skillset Magazine episode on that.
That's not a bad idea, dude. That's not a real. I kind of like that, man. I think.
Have you done a Halloween?
No, we haven't. I wish because we have an October issue that comes out, right? And man, that's not a bad idea. Maybe we've done how to make a dead body and stuff. We've had like little segments and shit like that in Skillset where people are like, okay, that's weird, but I'm like, yeah, I know, that's how we are. But that's what you find in the magazine. You find it's such a smorgasbord of stuff, man. So
you got to do that, man. I can't believe you haven't even thought about doing it.
I know.
Bring me along when you do it.
Okay, all right, we'll do it, man.
That.
Hey, there's a lot of spooky shit in Tennessee. I ain't gonna lie. There's a lot of spooky stuff in Tennessee.
There is. There's a lot of things around here.
Maybe we'll just do a Tennessee tour and go down there and pick you up and let's go do this.
No, we got to do a nationwide thing.
Okay, I'm down with that too.
We'll do a big October Halloween.
I like it.
Like annual thing on it. It'll be.
Hell yeah, dude. Don't threaten me with a good time. I'm all about it.
I like to bring up good times. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right, next question.
Yes.
What is your next gotta have, wanna have? It's like as soon as I get the opportunity, I'm getting this. It could be a fire, it could be anything.
Oh my God, man. That is tough.
It's like top of the list.
Top of the list.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say firearm stuff. I want a PKM, man. I want a PKM bad. So like I said, I've got my RPG-7. Actually, it's right over here. If you're in the video,
I'm seeing it over there.
Yeah. And when I got back from Iraq, I was, we got blasted with those things quite a bit, and I was like, I want one. I finally found a dude in Florida, Russian dude that had a bunch, demilled, whatever. But when I was with Jim Fuller up in Vegas when he was in Vegas, right? Yeah. He has a full auto.
Next to you now.
Yeah, he's right down the street, right in Scottsdale. He had he's a full auto PKM, and I got to go and just get some. I mean, I wasted so much ammo of that dude, so I feel bad. And I was just like, I need one. I need a full auto one. I need one. And I know companies that build them and what, I guess Voltor used to build them, but Meridian Defense is getting a line of kits. So I gotta have one. I know it's gonna be it's an expensive item, but man, just to have that thing, and it kind of rounds out the trio of things that tried to kill me for the longest time overseas, man.
Collecting everything that's out of hand and trying to kill me.
Right. I don't need an ID or anything.
That would be a great museum.
yeah, right. No shit. Things that tried to kill me. Right.
Yeah, snakes.
Skateboards, by the way. Yeah. But I would say that.
Billy Johnson, the neighbor next door.
Yeah. Right. No shit. Yeah.
Well, okay. So this next question, it kind of ties in with that, but it's even bigger scale. Think larger.
Okay.
So laws be damned, money be damned. What would you own or do?
Oh man.
No consequences.
See, that's. I love that you don't prep me with these, dude. You put me on the spot on this, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
Man, laws be damned and
money be damned, consequences be damned. What would you own or do?
Man, I would. Oh boy, yeah. Things are wrong to my brain, but I want to take them out of it. Some of them may not be legal.
No, it's laws be damned.
No,
laws be damned.
Morals may be the other problem.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, if I could parachute, have my own. You ever seen the kids these days? They have this. What is it called? Well, it's a game that God they used to. It's a game my kid plays all the time. They parachute in. It's like Fortnite.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I always wanted to do that. I know there's a movie. It's called. Yeah, it's like Fortnite or something like that.
Fortnite. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I always wanted to do that with fucking and once again, this is where it gets weird, but I would take all the pedophiles in the world, right? And I would set this up. I have my own island, and I would airdrop them all in, right? And that's how we work. Only one walks away, right? There you go. So and then once again, I know there's been like Running Man. There's been movies like that.
You could do all the pedophiles on this island, and then people pay to come in.
I like that.
Or not even pay. You just do a lottery or something like that. And you do
legal to get rid of these fucking guys. Yeah. I know that was the first thing in my head, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't say that on the air because that seems like. But you know what? Fuck these guys, man. You fucking diddle kids, you die. That's my thing. So yeah, I would probably, I'll have a different answer probably in an hour after we get off this thing. But
that's fine. That's fine. We'll come up.
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll have you back on again. So
I'd love to, man. Yeah,
we'll revise that question.
I'm sure there's some more, nicer things to say with this, but no, I would. That would take care of a big problem in this world, I think. Which is a huge problem, and let it work itself out with some bullets.
Yeah, I mean, save space in prison, taxpayer money, everything. I mean, you're doing everybody a favor. Come on.
Yeah. I think we got the majority of the people in the world would be like, let's do this thing. And it'd be good entertainment.
And
right?
you're probably crushing a lot of would-be serial killers that way also, because they get they get to experience the kill out there on pedophiles instead of going and
get it out of their blood, get it out of their system, right? Yeah, go ahead. Kill as many as you want.
Pedophile Island.
Yeah, legit, right? Yeah, no shit. That was a weird answer, sorry, but that's something I would be all about funding if I could, man. So
that would be cool. I would help you with that. I would take part in that.
We'll do the lottery. I like the lottery. That'd be something. Yeah, maybe I can get on board with Athlon Outdoors. Maybe we can do something like that.
Athlon would be behind that 100%, wouldn't he?
Probably, right?
So shit. Next question is there something currently in your arsenal, or has there ever been, or maybe a piece of kit, something that you're ashamed to admit that you owned?
Sky pistols. I'm sorry, no, that's fine.
What is a Sky pistol?
No.
Sky. Okay,
the SCCY. I'm just kidding. I'm joking to those guys. They are cheap little guns. So
they are.
No, I don't think
like the bricks. What are
the high points or something?
There you go. Yeah, the high points.
Actually, I had one at one point as a joke, but I think I got rid of it. But no, you know what? I mean, I've had some. A lot of times when you're a photographer for a bunch of gun companies, they tend to, I'm an FFL as well, so they would send guns to me, and sometimes they just don't want them back, right? Yeah. So I would be stuck with some of these guns. A lot of them are great, which is still sitting in my arsenal. And then there's the one that I don't know why I brought it out one day to go shoot with the dudes. I think because I've never shot. I hate having guns in my safe. I never shot, right? Yeah. But I had a shotgun from Mossberg. And it was Yeah, and which is fine, right? I love everybody loves shotguns.
Yeah. Love
But it was a pink Muddy Girl camo, right?
Okay.
And I didn't think anything of it, man. I was like, let's bring it out. Let's blow some. I got a bunch of, shotgun, 12 gauge ammo. Let's go blow this thing, man. And man, you bring that out in front of a bunch of alpha males, right? And you have this pink Muddy Girl.
Catch a little shit on that, huh?
I literally, I did like, I tried to put like 2 rounds in it, and people was like, everybody put the cameras down. Like, we're not going to take pictures of you with this fucking gun, Jason. You get it out of your system, put it back in the truck. I was like, okay. And I'm ashamed that I still have that gun right now. I should probably take a picture. I'll send it to you, man. But I still have that.
You got kids, right?
I got one. Yeah, I got a girl. Yeah, there you go. She didn't even she's embarrassed on that thing, man. It's like
she goes, I don't want. She's too alpha for that.
I don't want a pink Muddy Girl pattern gun. I was like, all right, sorry.
Yeah.
So I say that's probably my most embarrassing one. I mean, it's I'm trying to think of it. I got everything else. I got pretty freaking cool, man.
What about during your service? What's something awkward that you would carry with you during your service?
Oh, in service? Yeah. Look, man, I was a straight M4 guy, and I was a saw gunner, man. Those are the 2 weapon systems I carried.
But was there like something you would carry with you, not weapon wise or anything like that, but maybe did you have a talisman or anything like that you carried?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Man, you know what? It was
good luck charm.
Yeah.
Like
I honestly didn't have that. I had like morbid weird shit, So, guys, when you go to war, I fought in Somalia in '93.
Collect ears.
Yeah, no, funny about that, man. I'll get to that in a second. But we carry like the letter, the standard, typical. Write my last letter, take it off my dead body, and give it to you have that, and it just you carry that. And I still actually have the ones we read, and you're just like, this is. I read it and like, this is dumb. I don't want anybody to read this shit. You get stuff, man. But funny you say about the ears thing. So when we were rolling out, I think it was during the invasion. You sitting, okay, now you're going to exfil you, right? And it takes like a month to get you out of country. You sit there and do nothing, man. And then customs and our customs, I don't know, or whatever, before you leave the country, they go through, they dump all your shit, right? So they go through, and guys are always trying to steal shit, and usually it's ammo or some Iraqi fucking whatever. I want to steal
trophies.
Yeah, I had 2 Dragonoffs in plastic that I was at one point I was just like, I'm gonna risk my career and jail time to make sure I can bring these home because they were brand new Russian.
Yeah, I would risk that.
But I pussed out and I didn't do it. I threw them away. Literally, they're just sitting in the desert somewhere right now. So, so we're right in front of our grunt.
Breaks my heart.
Yeah, I know, me too. Yeah, especially knowing what those things are worth right now. Shit.
Yeah.
We're right in front of this grunt unit. We're all sharing this big warehouse, I guess, Iraqi warehouse, and then I saw these MPs because they were going through all the shit. And they lost their shit. Big commotion, maybe 10, 20 feet away from me. I'm like, what the fuck? And then everybody, drop your shit. Everybody get out, right? I was a kind of a staff and a senior NCO at the time, so I got to kind of hang out. And then this dude's backpack, man, he had Ziploc bags of fingers, right? Dude, he had an eyeball, right? In like a sock or some shit. I mean, it was gross, corroded. I mean, he's had it for months. The shit stunk. And I'm like, what are you going to do with it? It's not, they're all like,
You think he's taking this shit home with him?
He was trying to. I don't know what he's going to, he had literally, I would say he had probably 20 fingers. And I don't know if they're all from like, 4 different hands or this guy, I wasn't part of our unit, but they were just kind of putting us together. And it was strange, dude, because everybody was just like, this guy disappeared after that.
You got to get in touch with this guy for your new warehouse.
Oh yeah.
See if he's saying, dude, did you happen to make it in country with any of that shit?
I was just like, you always hear like the nom guys will get the ears, right? Ear necklaces and shit like that.
Noses and ears.
I always thought that was just bullshit. But man, there was dudes that, I mean, I saw it firsthand. The guy had a bag of fingers and an eyeball. I'm like, what? Okay. I didn't even want to know, man, but yeah, he disappeared and I don't know whatever happened.
Beyond explanation, something like that. I don't even want to know.
Yeah, no, it was some weird shit like that. But I don't think I carried anything. You always have your little ritual prayer before you do anything scary, that you do and all that shit, man. It's the same one I've did for 20 years. I'm not even a religious guy, but you just do it just in case. Because especially jumping out of an airplane at night, you're like, let me just say this. Maybe it may help, it may not. I don't fucking know.
Touching the top of the door.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, but that's about it, really, man.
Let me ask you this: do you shoplift anymore?
Do I shoplift anymore?
Yeah.
Wait. How do you know about? Wait.
How do I know about shoplifting?
Yeah.
I read.
Oh.
I read stuff.
Did you? So. Yeah, no, I do not shop. That was fucking wild, bro. That's what brought that up. Yeah. Oh.
Hey, who of us who has not shoplifted? I mean, who's not lifted a pack of, back in this, the baseball cards. Back in our day, it was big thing, collected baseball cards and Star Wars cards. They come out with those. I mean, who hadn't lifted a pack of those? Come on, guilty.
We're all guilty.
Come on, guilty. Now, I can't remember what it was. I was reading an interview. Somebody did an interview with you, and you were talking about how you had this panache for, just petty shoplifting. It wasn't like a.
It was a kid thing, man. Yeah. Did you read about when I was shoplifting like gum and whatnot out of a store, and I walked out and I saw a kid get killed? That was like that's why I stopped. It was like, okay, look, once again, I don't believe in signs and shit, but right. I was a little punk ass kid, man. So that's why I always tell people, right? I mean, like, hey, man, whatever, man. I turned out to be a good human being, but as a kid, you're a fuck up, right? I remember I was with my buddy and hitting the store, grabbing a bunch of fucking gum and shit, stuck in your pocket. And I walk out, and this is kind of a morbid story, man. I walk out of the store. I'll never forget, man. North End, it's like shopping center, it was called. And there's this guy with a little 2-year-old in one hand and a case of beer in the other, right? And he's walking, and there's a big main road right in front. He stops to tie his shoe. Let's go both. And unfortunately, that kid hauls the mail right to the street, right in front of my eyes, and gets whacked by a Cadillac, right? I saw the whole thing. And I'm just literally, I'm already nervous.
So you think that's God saying
something, man? I saw that kid. And
the gum was too much, kid.
It was the first time I've ever seen anybody die, right? And it was a kid. And then, watch the old lady that hit him come out, and she's crying, and we're all looking at this kid. Dad's losing his shit. I mean, just the worst of the worst of the worst. And I'm like, I was like, am I being punished? I must be getting punished because I'm doing bad shit. And I never, at that point, I'm done. I was done. I never grabbed anything. I never, fucking lifted anything. I never did anything like that. It was creepy, man. It was wild. So yeah, I'm sorry. I don't mean to bring down the podcast, but that was.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I remember.
I could see it to this day, and I was younger. I was a teenager, man. So yeah, it was crazy. I was really, I don't know how I was like way young. It's like I was young enough to be able to like sit in the shopping cart. How they used to put kids in the seats of the shopping carts. That's what those things were built for, was to put for
kids. Yeah. It had the little hole for the legs. A lot of people don't know that, those shopping carts. But anyway, my mom was pushing me through this store with one of those, and she was looking at stuff, and there was this keychain, leather keychain that she was looking at, and she was admiring, and she's like, "Oh, I really like that. Maybe I'll get that one day." And she kind of put it up.
Yeah.
And she went over here and did something, and I looked over, I saw it, I just grabbed it, put it in my, my pocket right there.
Yeah.
And we got in the car. We're on our way home. I said, "Mommy, look what I got you."
Oh, nice.
She freaked out.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah.
I got one of the biggest ass beatings of my life. We turned around right then. She made me take it back, apologize to the people.
It's funny you say that. When I was young, so this is like, I guess I was a little thief from way back, man. I was in a JCPenney's, right? And our mall, which had a 2-story JCPenney's, had an escalator, right? So I was with my little brother, and I was like 6, 8 years old, and I trying to steal I don't remember what it was, toys, right? You go to the toy aisle and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, I almost got caught. I thought someone saw me, whatever, and I freaked out. So I dropped my shit, and I told my brother, let's go sit on the escalator, right? So we run to the escalator, and I sit down because I'm trying to hide, right? And I didn't have it. I just dropped the item, whatever. You're a kid, Yeah. And I'm riding up the escalator up the stairs. And I didn't get off when I get to the edge, right? I had these little weird fabric shorts, and my fucking shorts got caught in the escalator. So I'm sitting there. It went underneath like a little grate, right? And then I can't get up. I'm stuck. And then the people start walking over me, and I'm like, and my brother's like, he sees me. He's like, "Fuck this, I'm out." And he runs away. I'm like, "You son of a bitch,
you bastard!"
I'm stuck right there. They had to shut down the escalator. They had to take it apart so I can they take my pants off. I'm sitting there or I had underwear, right? Tidy whities as a little kid. And there was a crowd of like 30 people. I never forget. I'm just like, this is what I get. Once again,
I'm being punished.
Yeah. And I look at her and my mom sees a commotion, and she comes over. She's a second store. She sees me wearing just some underwear and some maintenance guy trying to get my shorts out. And she literally is like, "Fuck you." And she goes away. She leaves me. Dude, this is not my kid, dude. I'm just like, God, my luck sucks, bro.
That is great.
Yeah. So
that is hilarious. Oh my gosh. So that is something that Clint Emerson. He's been on your show.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
He's been on ours too. And
yeah,
you know what he did for a living, and I guess he still does, but you know, he did like security company evaluations, and he would try to break into to companies and stuff. I would love to do that. That's what I would.
That'd be cool.
That would be awesome.
So you can, infiltrate and yeah, that'd be awesome. I know Clint's a great guy, man. He's I was so proud of him. He actually shot one of his series here with Marcus Torgerson at our studio and all that stuff.
Okay.
So I got to see the whole production and all that stuff. It was pretty neat, man. He's a great guy, man. And if those out there haven't seen that series, the 100 Deadly Skills, it's amazing, man.
100 Deadly Skills, and he just started doing the Can You Survive This podcast. He started hosting it.
Oh, did he? Oh, yeah. Awesome. That's
another great podcast. I just started listening to it too. It's really good. I think you'd enjoy it too. They set up these scenarios with their guest, and it's kind of like you got two options.
Yeah.
You know, do you do this? Do you do that? And whatever they pick, then it leads to the next question.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, would you do this? Cool. Would you do this?
Choose your own adventure.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. So they get astronauts on there. You know, they get former special ops guys and scientists, and
that's why I love Clint, man. He's so creative when it comes to. I mean, the 100 Deadly Skills is great because even if you guys haven't seen the book, it's just all pictures, right? It's you got it right.
Boom. Yeah.
So it's all just pictures, man, and that's the video. Once again,
but he went one step further in this one. He put those QR codes.
Oh,
and it goes to a video too. Oh, so it's actual video of him and like Zoltan, doing badass shit.
That's great. Yeah, and that's brilliant, man. I mean, once again, he knows that's a great. We used to actually. We're such good friends. He would let us run in our magazine, our earlier magazines, like 2 pages of 100 Deadly Skills. So I'd pick out a couple each time,
Oh, that's cool.
And all that stuff, just to. Because I just thought they were great. They're quick little bits of information and they're fun and all that stuff. And I like that stuff. Easy to digest, man. That's how we, even in Skillset, was how we try to make our magazine like short read, right? So it's short attention span type of stuff, man. You're not reading the Dead Sea Scrolls, each article. You're in and out in a minute or 2, 3 minutes, 5 minutes or whatever, So every time's valuable, right? So that was
absolutely.
It was built for the sit-in, that magazine's supposed to be in the shitter, right? So grab it.
The great thing about magazines, they're meant to be read over and over and, over and read a little bit here, go to the shitter, read a little bit, go lay out by the pool, read a little bit.
Exactly.
Got a long trip, read a little bit at the airport, kind of thing. And, that's how they get that look like you had of the Michael Rooker.
Right. All their
eventually it's going to look like that,
Yeah. No, you're right, man. And that's why I tell people, I'm like, I tell people, pass them around, man. Give it, throw it, wherever. Leave it in the toilet. I don't give a shit.
But that's what the newer generation don't, they don't understand, books, magazines, the actual tangibility, of having that right there. There's like, I'll just pull it up on my phone. I got it right here. Boom.
Yeah. I've tried that. I've tried to read on tablets. I've tried to read, I just can't do it. Give me something, like I said, tangible in my hands. And I always laugh because I've said this about 1,000 times. So you probably, but Stan Lee, the great comic genius, right?
Yeah, I love Stan Lee.
His famous quote has always stuck with me. He's just like, he goes, a pair of titties looks great on a computer screen, but wouldn't you rather have it in your hands? You know what I'm saying? I was like, that's brilliant. I mean, that explains physical media right there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's better in your hands, man, So anyway, that's awesome. So,
yeah, he had a knack. Love Stan Lee.
Yeah.
Did you collect comic books growing up?
Absolutely. I still have them. So I got lucky.
I got a lot of mine.
A lot of my 80s stuff, all the old Punisher stuff I've kept.
Nice.
Just stuck in an attic, and my mom, she's just like, they moved or whatever, like, you want this box of comics? I'm like, shit, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like 40 or 30 years old, man. I'm like, and I got a few gems in there, but a lot of them are not worth shit, but it was kind of just to go back and look at these things and seeing where, like, some of them might even mark, or I cut out like a proof of purchase to go, get the
but you go back and you go through them and you remember that little mark, and it brings you back to that time. You're like, fuck, I remember.
Absolutely. Nostalgia, man. To me, it's a drug, man. I always tell people, I'm like, it's. I get high off thinking of the old times and the little things that you just said that you like a trigger, man, and it just take my memory back, right? To like, oh man, how cool was life back in the 80s? And my kid gets tired of me telling that because life was fucking great back in the 80s. I tell people that it was a great decade. You could get away with anything. Your parents didn't give a shit. Just go play. When it gets dark, come back home. And
they didn't want to see you until it was dinner time.
Right. Well, you can't do that now because half people get picked up and they're in Mexico and or whatever. But it was like,
or the fucking neighbors are harassing them and yelling at them.
Yeah, you know, and so it was a good time. And you're right. That's what I see, these little things that trigger my memories back then. It's like, man, that was fun.
Good old days.
Yeah, the good old days, you know. And it's like it sucks for like a newer generation, because it's like you try to instill that in them, you know, like, hey, there's ways to do it, but unfortunately the phones and the people are so glued to all that these days.
Yeah.
It's like, man, it just kind of takes the fun of just being part of just walking life, man, walking around and doing your thing, getting in trouble and doing your thing. I mean, once again, it's like, being an old guy, skate guy, right? I was an old skate punk back in there. And it was like, I did so much running from the cops constantly. I'm one of the biggest law enforcement supporters there is. And I tell every cop I have in here, I'm like, it was my job to run from you guys. And if you caught me, you did your job. I was never mad at you. I was like, all right, you got me, motherfucker, take me to my parents or whatever,
Right.
But it was like,
because that's like you said, back then it was just,
yeah,
they're not gonna take you to jail. They're just gonna call you parents.
Yeah, they call my parents. That was even worse. I'd rather go to jail. My dad was ass, right? But that was the risk, and that was the fun part of it. You didn't hate cops. That's their job, man.
Adrenaline again. You're an adrenaline junkie, just like the shoplifting. The shoplifting's an adrenaline thing,
It's so dumb. I know.
It's an adrenaline. I know it's stupid, but we all did it.
Yeah.
We knew it was wrong. It was like just the thrill of the chase kind of thing. But
for sure, right?
All right, last question.
All right,
new guy question. If you could spend the day at the range with anyone or group of people, whether they're alive, dead, or fictional, who would you like to spend the day at the range with?
Carlos Hathcock, the most infamous Marine sniper there is, man. Never got to meet the guy, unfortunately, but I grew up on his legends, especially in the Marine Corps. The legendary Vietnam sniper and all that stuff. I would love just to sit. I don't even need to go in the range. Or it'd be nice to go in the range and actually shoot with him. That'd be a dream. But just sit in a room with him and just, what? Here's a case of beer. Let's go. Let's start talking. Or grab some whiskey. I want to hear all the stories that was not printed, because that's one thing, especially when it comes to war. There's a lot of stuff that you forget, man. Until you have someone there that can trigger something like
that was actually there.
Yeah. And when you get kind of two combat vets together, it's a weird dynamic that, even if they never served together, they'll trigger different things, memories like, oh, wait, yeah, I did that. Or, this and this happened to me.
Yeah.
And man, to hear such a legendary sniper, I'm a big fan of snipers. I wasn't one in the Marine Corps. I got into a long range game afterwards with Buck Doyle. He was a sniper, and I fell in love with the game. And now I appreciate these guys even more. But I remember the detrimental effects of a sniper in, say Iraq or Somalia.
Psychological, just alone, yeah.
Even if they wouldn't hit anybody and you just had no idea where that came from, you would hunker down a whole platoon, for hours thinking like, what are we going to do?
One person can hold down a whole platoon, and it's amazing. Yeah.
It's incredible. So I love that part of it, man. And to talk to someone who's, got triple digit kills.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would definitely say, Carlos.
You've had Jack Carr on.
Yes, a couple times. Yeah.
He's been on ours too a couple of times too. I think that was the person he picked.
Did he?
It was one of them. I think it was one of the ones. Yeah. That and Hemingway. He picked Hemingway. I remember that. Yeah.
Well, he's got a Hemingway type. I did his cover of Ballistic magazine, which is about, I don't know, maybe it was close, 6-8 months ago. I got to shoot it. So I get to go up to Utah and hang out with Jack for a couple of days and go to his house and shoot. And he has
Shut up, because I was supposed to go next week.
Oh, it's pretty awesome.
I know.
It's Park City, Utah. So
he got called to Hollywood for that. For the filming, the Terminalist.
Yeah. Which is amazing, by the way. That guy's just good on that guy, because he's such a nice person, man.
He is.
But he has a actual Hemingway typewriter, right? I didn't know that. He's, I want to put this typewriter here on the shot. I'm like, okay, it's cool, nice old typewriter. And he tells me, this is actually Ernest Hemingway. I'm like, holy shit, that's wild, So, he's really good. He actually gives me shout outs in the book because I helped him with some AK knowledge, and he would call me from like Siberia. Hey, dude, I have an AK here. Can I send you a picture? Can you tell me about it? I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, dude. This is great. So
that would be a good one. We'll get him and you and the Meridian guys on.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah,
he said he wanted to be on to do one too.
Yeah, for sure, dude. That would be great, man. Let's do it.
Be a good episode. Fuck yeah.
That'd be amazing. And Jack's a great dude, man. And he's just hell of a writer. And what the fact that he's got, the Amazon movie coming out or series or whatever coming out.
It's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, and couldn't happen to a nicer guy, man. And once again, you know, I've seen Jack almost not at his worst, but I've seen him even when he's in a bad mood. And he's still a great dude. You know, he's still a nice guy. It's like you can't beat me.
I can imagine, yeah.
You know, so
he's just so well prepared, you know. Yeah. And he, you know, he's talking about how people say I'm lucky and all this, you know, but you know, preparedness favors the or luck prepared what favors the prepared.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've watched him work. His research is top notch, man. I mean, he goes crazy in depth. You know, once again, like going to Siberia, dude, to you know, research shit. It's just like
South Africa.
Yeah, all that stuff. So it's pretty neat, man. And so I'm really excited for him. I'm excited to see the terminal list, man. It's great, you know. Reading it now, it's like okay, now I get to see what they did with it, you know. And
what about Pratt? Have you had Pratt?
No, well, I liked, and look, this is where I'm rubbing elbows.
He's supposedly like a 2A guy too.
He is, yeah. You know, he's went and hunted with Jack and all that stuff. I've seen him. You know, I get to see little behind the scenes photos on his phone and all that stuff. I was like, man, I love that guy. I love to have him on the show. I love to have him, you know, as a cover. You know, and so I'm leaning on Jack to, hey, dude, what's up? Make that call, man. You know,
him and that Toyota on there.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, no shit, right? So. Pretty cool, man. So definitely, man. So yeah, there you go, man, for sure.
Hathcock, like it.
Done. Absolutely.
Like it. Very good. There you go, man. You made it through the Talking Lead podcast. You made it through the new guy questions.
Man,
you're a champ, dude. So thank you, Jason Swarr with Skillset Magazine. Talk about where they can go and check out everything Skillset's doing, the podcast. Everything.
Yeah, issue 18. Wow, all these issue 18 is out in stores right now. It actually we did a feature cover on the tactical games, man. Which
let me pull it up.
Yeah,
keep talking about it. I'll pull it
hopefully it's online. If not, it definitely be on my Instagram or whatever. Our Instagram. The tactical games. Yeah, I didn't know anything about them, and I was like, I'm curious. So we went down to Texas, and I didn't participate. Thank God, it would have killed me because it's tough, man. It's you know I'm not a big CrossFitter, but it's basically CrossFit games with shooting, right? So they wear you down to nothing. There you go. Yeah, they wear you down to pretty much nothing, and just work your ass to you can't even hold a gun, and then you expect to do some pretty high end marks, not high end, but a lot of you're shooting 15, 20 yards with a pistol at a...
It's like a 3-gun competition on steroids. Is that kind of what it is?
It is, yeah, it is. You know, you're just carrying
like a 3-gun crossed with a Spartan race.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. That's
actually what it is.
That's a great way to call it. Yeah. I should have used that in the book, man. So, yeah. But yeah. So
feel free.
The girl on our cover right now, Tristan Burris. She's a national champion. She's a beast, man. She is tough as hell, nice as hell. And then Tess Saab that she
belts,
actually, yeah, she's. I always had her arms. Jesus. Yeah. But and Tess Saab, who is a competitor who's won the tactical games like 7 times. She actually wrote the story. I was gonna write it, but I'm like, she's a competitor. I'm like, and we're good friends. I was like, Tess,
makes sense.
Do it, man. And she used to work for the NRA, writing and all that stuff. She's really good at all this stuff, and she's in the gun industry a lot. But used to work for Armorlight and whatnot, so she knows the deal. And she wrote an amazing article. And it's look, if you ever decide to do one of these things, read this article first because it's tough, man. It's a bitch. And you see these guys get done, they're puking all over themselves.
Yeah, they've been doing this for a while, haven't they?
Yeah, it's been out for a few years, man, and it's just kind of starting to pick up. And they want me to do one here in October in Phoenix, and I'm just like, yeah, I'll try. I mean,
what month did they do this one?
This was it was actually in March, so it was actually
still a little warm, a little cold.
It was actually freezing that day, man. Believe it or not. Okay. Yeah. So, really, really pretty great group of people, man. Great. I guess test the strength and shooting ability, because you're shooting at target. You're not like shooting at half silhouettes or anything. You're shooting at a 3x5 from 25 feet after carrying 200 pounds.
Right. I was gonna say after you've climbed a 20-foot wall.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, man. So it's pretty awesome. And so guys, that's out in the stores. It's nationwide. Go grocery stores, your CVS's, your Walgreens. I think Walmart carries it. Or
just not Kroger, huh?
Yeah, actually, Kroger, they carry it. Okay, go back to that cover real quick, or if you can. I don't know if you already.
Yeah.
This is why. Let me show you why we can put it in Kroger. It's almost embarrassing to say this. But, okay. So let's go back to her real quick. Okay.
There we go.
So there was actually an AR strapped to her back that I photoshopped out.
Oh.
Unfortunately. And and that's, they're fine with pistols, especially
They're
holster.
fine with that, huh?
Yeah, but the AR strapped across her back, it was a no-go for all.
That just threw them over the top right there.
And it's like, and I was like, well, screw you guys, I don't care. But big corporate's like, no, we're gonna get rid of that thing. I'm like, okay, but the effect is still there. It's fine,
absolutely.
But so yeah, we're in all that books, all the Books of Millions, your Barnes and Nobles, you guys name it, it'll be there.
You do digital copies of this?
Absolutely. So and that's why I recommend everybody. It's like, screw these stores, screw the censorship. Go to skillsetmag.com, and we have daily articles updated, every day, or 5 days, 6 days a week, or whatever. Some good stuff on Skillset Mag, and then subscribe, man. It's cheap. I think you can get a whole year for under $20. So
nice.
It's fun. It's worth it. And then if you're a digital guy, you can get your there you go. You just pop one up. And what's our story today? Red Dawn, the most badass commie wasted movie ever.
Oh, dude, we could do a whole episode on Red Dawn.
Right? Only the 84 Red Dawn, not the new one, man.
So, no, the new one sucks. I mean,
yeah. So,
it's its own movie, but it's not Red Dawn of the 80s. No, absolutely not.
Not at all. Yeah. So, but yeah, Skillset Mag. Once again, we keep it updated, and it's some fun stuff in there, man.
What's this about Bob Ross?
He was an Air Force guy, man. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah, he actually did, like, I can't remember how long he did, but like 8 years or something, or maybe retired. He was old school, man. Yeah, he kept it real. But then he was he never wanted to yell at anybody ever again, so he started doing the painting stuff. So pretty cool.
Chilled him out, huh? Big time.
Yeah, for sure, right? So, but we got tons of articles like that, man. Check back daily on skillsetmag.com, and then man, follow us on Instagram. Everything's at Skillset Mag, man. So there you guys
go. And in honor of Memorial Weekend, Memorial Day, this are celebrities who you probably didn't know served in the military. So that's what I was talking about. Bob Ross, he's on here. Yeah. Ice-T, for the rapper Ice-T.
Yeah.
Steve McQueen. I didn't know Steve McQueen was a.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rob Riggle. We just talked about Rob Riggle. Jackie Robinson, the famous baseball player. So
absolutely.
Very cool.
Yeah. So once again, you'll have tons of little useless information like that daily on our site, man. Get fight tips too, man. We have some, once again, we got a lot of pro MMA guys that we do videos and like good street defense type of stuff. Nothing like we're gonna make you a ninja, but like more get you out of trouble when you need it.
Might get you that motivation that you need to get into the gym.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So a lot of good stuff, all free on the website. There's no paywall, none of that shit, man.
Sweet.
And if you like it, and then you feel like subscribing to the magazine, by all means, go grab some. It's I always say our magazine's 120 pages, right, of just kick-ass content, and it's less than a Hallmark card. Hallmark cards are $7, $8.
Oh my God, they're so ridiculous now. That's another one of those examples of shit that's gotten way ridiculous.
I know, right? There you go. You can get the whole year for $19.97, man. Look at that, man. 4 issues. That's
you can't beat that. And is this the digital, or do you actually get the print one with this?
No, that's print, man. Yeah, that's a print.
So you get it right to your door.
100%. Mail right to your mailbox, man, for $20, man. That's 2 combo meals at Wendy's if you've been listening to the show for go back there, right? So.
And how often do you put them out?
We're quarterly, so every once a quarter.
Okay, 4 years.
You're showing Michelle Vescuzzi right there on our one.
Oh, is that Michelle?
That is her, man.
I did not recognize her.
Yeah, the Glock shooter. She's a good friend of ours. We did a little skill set, uncommon core, basically trying to change what's being taught in America. So I needed a cool.
You needed a hot for teacher.
Yeah, I know. It kind of turned out. I told her, I was like, I wanted her to be mean. I'm like, hey, Michelle, I want you to look tough, right? And then she was up, and of course, Michelle looks great.
She just looks sexy.
I know, and I'm just like, son of a bitch. All right, yeah, we're going.
I'm just wanting to end this interview real quick here. Or are we just going to cover the camera?
Get some me time. Yeah, turn off the camera first.
Combat Jack. Yeah.
You know it, right?
Awesome. No, she's a great shooter though. I remember her on Top Shot.
Yep. Yeah.
I haven't had her on the show yet, but I've had a lot of the other people that were on Top Shot on the show.
Funny thing about that, she'll tell you she's a horrible interview. We've had her a few times, and she doesn't like talking.
Maybe that's why I can't get her on.
Yeah, she'll tell. I'll tell her. I've had her on our show a couple times, and it's like pulling teeth. And we're good friends. She literally lives right down the street from our studio, right? And it's like, come on. And she goes, I just hate talking about myself. All right, whatever. So but she's really cool, awesome girl, man, and a great shooter, man. She bears me when it comes to shooting, man. So it's some fun stuff, man. So
I'm surprised she hasn't been in. They haven't recruited her for some of these movies and stuff.
Well, she's a new Call of Duty character too. If you haven't noticed that, man.
No, which one is she?
So she just came out. So it's so funny because I know all the guys that do the photography and all that stuff for Call of Duty, and I knew she got hooked up about 6 months ago. And what's her character name? She actually they had to do makeup. They put a. Oh God, she's like a mohawk in it, man. Like a blonde mohawk. Yeah, it's her. I can't remember her name. I'm not a big Call of Duty.
Because that chick to me looks like the one from that used to be at Terran Tactical.
Yeah.
That
like
chick.
Jade or whatever. Yeah.
Jade. Yeah, that's who.
That's Michelle, man. The blonde. They had to do like 6 hours of makeup to get it into that, and all that stuff. So, which is cool, man. It's something like, once again, it's good that, Call of Duty is not dumb, and this is why I tell people, because they're grabbing these influencers, these shooters with a big following in the gun industry, and and it's great because they're going ahead and
that's their audience,
yeah, they're going crazy, and they're
like that dude
out of it. So
Lurch.
yeah, that's Real World Tony or whatever, Tactical, whatever his name is, and
I've seen that a couple events.
For sure, yeah. So even that cover, if you had the cover of a skill set up a minute ago, the one with the dog, right? It was I think it's issue 15 of ours or something like that. It had the Dogs of War. That dog is in Call of Duty. Yeah, right there. That's Call of Duty Rex. He's actually he's in Call of Duty.
He's the dog that goes and does the
That's him, man. In fact, you know what the funny? So his handler right there, he's a good friend of mine, the Recon Marine. He's in Call of Duty too, but they in fact, he's I can't remember. I'm not a Call of Duty guy, but one of the main characters, some captain or whatever, I can't remember the guy's name.
Price.
So that's Captain Price right there. Except they don't use his face; they use his body. So Aaron, the guy's named Aaron Schweitzer. He's like all butthurt. He's like, man, my dog's more famous than I am.
They use his mustache.
Yeah, they actually they use someone else's face, but use his body. So he does all the work for him and all that stuff.
Oh, they should have used his face.
I know. Well, you know what's funny is
he kind of looks like it. He does kind of look like it.
Kind of looks like, yeah. We served together for years, man, and all that stuff. So really good dude, man. Really cool guy. So, and a dog. Here's the best part. The dog is, I mean, an amazing canine. Was a pound find. He found that dog.
Oh, really? I love those stories.
And then trained this dog to, I mean, that dog's a killer. He's a great dog, man. And now he's all famous and shit, man. But so pretty awesome stuff, man.
So even canines fall into Memorial Weekend.
There you go.
So there's been a lot of canines that have given their lives for the service.
100%. Yeah, and that article right there, and you guys can pick up back issues and whatnot, but that was about that. The canines in combat history, man, and a lot of them were killed, but a lot of them were awarded. Did heroic acts and all that stuff, man. Amazing dogs.
Won medals.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, a lot of good stuff, man. A lot of good stuff with Skillset Mag, and like I said, appreciate you let me plug it a little bit. So,
no, absolutely, man. It's really the only magazine that I get anymore. So
that's nice. I appreciate that, man. That's good.
Because I'm kind of one of those that kind of fell to the wayside as far as the print stuff goes. And actually, Clint was the guy who got me back into books.
Nice.
I had him on a couple of years ago, and for his interview, I was like, well, shit, I got to buy that book and read it before I do this interview. And then Jack came along, and I've read all his books now too. And the audio versions, man, I really like the audio versions.
I haven't heard those yet. I need to. I'd be interested on those, man.
The guy who Jack Carr has that does his Jack Carr narrator. He was the voice in oh shit, the Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, was it Justice League? Justice League.
Justice League. Yeah, for sure.
He was the voice of Darkseid.
Oh, nice. Damn. Now I gotta listen to that thing. All right.
What is the guy's name? I've said it like a million times. Anyway, it's on the show. Go back to that episode. Ray Porter. I knew it'd come to me.
Nice.
Ray Porter. Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm down.
I didn't know I was still sharing my screen. Sitting there typing up shit. So, and the podcast, it's on all the
channels. Skillset Live. Just Google it, DuckDuckGo it, whatever you guys are doing these days, and it'll pop up. And like I said, we got close to 300 episodes, man. And some good, some bad. No, I'm just kidding. There's definitely a smorgasbord. There's no real theme going in any of these things.
How long have you been doing the podcast?
2017. I didn't even know what podcasts were, man. Ben, my assistant editor, was like, hey man, because we have a pretty good fan base, man, and people love it. And we're a quarterly magazine, so a month prior to our magazine coming out, we get a lot of hype, man. People love it. The month after it comes out, people are super stoked. But there's that 1 month in between that people don't give a shit anymore, right? Whatever. Right. That's life. So he goes, we should do a podcast. I'm like, what is that? Something you do in your basement with your mom's basement? I was joking. And then I got into the world of it. And I looked at it. And I'm like, what a great medium, man. This is a great medium. And I didn't know I could run my mouth like I can, and it's fun.
Great. You're a great orator.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Back at you, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We started this in 2012. Oh, wow. So we're going on 10 years now.
Get out of town, dude. Oh, shit. Oh, so you're old school, man.
Yeah, we're like one of the first, if not the first, firearms podcast. So we've been doing it a minute. And I was like you. Me and my buddy were throwing around ideas to start up. So I was like, let's do it. Put up a gun store. Let's do a bar. And then he was managing like 4 Mexican radio stations at the time.
Damn.
And he's like, let's do a podcast. Yeah. I was like, okay, what the fuck's a podcast?
What's a podcast, right?
Yeah. He's like, it's like we do every week. We'd call each other once a week and get caught up on comics and movies and guns and girls. And, he was married to this chick who was completely anti-gun at the time.
Nice.
So owning a gun store was completely out of the question.
Yeah, right.
He said, but we can at least talk about it. So he said, I got all the equipment here at the radio station. Come down and we'll just record our conversations, basically.
Nice.
And I was like, easy enough.
Yeah. Crazy, man. No, that's great, dude. Because it's a lot of people don't stick with it. We've given a lot of advice because people. I would say once a week, hey man, how do I start a podcast? You're just like, oh god, okay. It's like
all the time.
But the fact that we've told a lot of people, we've helped a lot of people, we've mentored a lot of people, but a lot of people they do X amount of shows and they fall off because it gets hard. People don't realize how much you gotta have some prep to it, and then to be able to just like me and you just went off the cuff today, right? And that's really tough for a new guy to do, right?
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time and practice, and not that it sounds like just a conversation, but the flow, you keep the flow going and all that, which is really nothing I hate worse than a podcast.
There's an art, though,
where there's dead silence and no one knows what to say. I can't stand podcasts like that, and that's why I told Ben, I was like, we're gonna do this. I go, we're going to keep the flow going, man. Keep that entertaining going. And, if you miss something, you almost have to go back. What did I just miss, and stuff like that. And you do kind of the same thing, which is good, man. And a lot of guys, I mean, they fall off, man. They, Haley, all these guys, I don't know if Haley's podcast is still up. I don't know. Call him nowhere, man. I'm calling him out because we got him started on a podcast. He started doing one because I was like, dude, you're going to make a shitload of money doing it. Right? You're calling nowhere. Right. And I don't know if he still does it. He may have fell off too. It's tough.
I mean, he's making enough money anyway, so he didn't really need to do one. So just being a guest on people's podcasts is what some people need to stick to.
No, for sure, yeah. Because it's difficult, man. To come up with a new stuff or to find guests, and it's not easy,
No, it's not.
And if you got it down and you could carry a good conversation, make it. Dude, we've been talking like 2.5 hours. I mean,
we did a Rogan podcast today.
Yeah, right. It's like a 5-parter for some people, but it's like it's.
But that's the great thing about podcasts is they can stop and pick up where they left off.
Yeah, and I think it's. I always tell that even advertisers, man. I tell people, I'm like, look. If you're going to give us a discount code, and I don't know why we're getting into podcast 101 here, but I tell people, if you're going to, tell your advertisers, if you're going to give me a discount code, make sure it's for life. Even if we break up, we never talk again, and you don't.
That's what I tell them too. I was like, because we get new listeners every day, and they go back to the very beginning, and they'll listen to the show. And
absolutely, and people were like, well, hey, I went to this whatever your advertiser, they didn't have your code anymore. I'm like, that's their fault. They could have made a sale right there, So,
right.
But it's a great medium, man. I think it's a good way to get out. Now you're adding video, you're saying, and all this stuff. It's good too.
Yeah, I didn't record them in the past.
I didn't read it. Yeah.
But people started recording them, and I started getting requests. They're like, "Hey, why don't you record your podcast? I want to see who you're talking to." I was like,
"Sure."
Well, it's just two dudes sitting there talking, but okay, I'll record it if you want to. But I tried to add more visuals, to it.
Yeah, so. I find myself too. I mean, we sometimes I want to see what they look like, or especially an animated guy, who's talking and doing all that stuff. It's good to know what the people look at your list to. I mean, that's why Rogan does it, right? Joe Rogan, he has his stuff, and you can.
It's a missed opportunity. Now that I look back, I was like, it's a missed opportunity.
Yeah,
especially got all kinds of different. You got different advertising that you can do with the video that you can't do with the audio.
100%. Yeah, no, for sure, man. So yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. And like, I appreciate your podcast, and I appreciate guys that can power through and keep the thing going, man. You have highs and lows when it comes to podcasts. You're never going to please everybody. We get today like, oh, that podcast sucked. I'm like, well, it's about country music, and you don't like country music or whatever. It's like, so we try to get.
But you did do a good one with country music. Your last episode that you had on,
man. Yeah, that was a good one.
That dude was awesome, man.
Really good, man, and his story's awesome too, man. So, and that's what we try to tie in. I'm not a country music fan, but it was a good story behind it, man. You're losing his brother in Iraq and all that. I mean, it was pretty.
That's the thing. Everybody's got something in common. You find a common ground, and then. Yeah. You feed off that, and whether you're anti-gun, you're pro-gun, you're country, you're rock, everybody's got a little common ground somewhere.
I agree 100%.
He's like, I hate rap, but there's some rap. I can't say I hate all rap because there's some rap. The 80s rap. I love the 80s rap, man.
Hell yeah, me too. Yeah, so you're right. There's always a common ground somewhere, man. We could all find it, right? And it's the beauty of America.
It's just you got to be willing to find that. Some people just refuse. They don't want to see that there is commonality and common ground, and we can all live together. Come on,
we can all get along. It's hands across America, right? Whatever.
There you go.
Remember that shit back in the 80s or whatever? It was the hands across America, Farm Aid. I'll get down a rabbit hole and all that shit.
Leadheads, it's Jason Swarr with the Skillset Magazine, the Skillset Live podcast. He's got the horror podcast that we just found out about, the Death List.
So if you're a weird horror fan and you like
I'm listening to it as soon as we get off, dude. I'm pulling it up.
I apologize in advance, man. No, it's fun stuff, man. It's a different side of us that you get to hear, and we have a good time on it, man. So
I can't wait for your Sideshow Freak store to open.
Another weird shit I'm doing in my life, right? But you know what? It's like
it's worth a trip to wherever you're going to open it. Arizona, I guess.
Yeah, here in the Phoenix area. There's not one like it anywhere within a 3-state radius. So I'm like, maybe I'll get lucky, man.
Probably not in the country.
Yeah, no kidding, right? But it's one of those things. I couldn't go into the grave. I can't die. And I don't leave my deathbed going, I wish I would have tried it. So I'm going to try it, man.
If you can get one of those, I can't remember the name of the thing, but they like skin people. It's like an art exhibit, and it's like different layers of people being dissected, and
those are weird, man. There's real dead people, man. I saw that.
I won't go to one of those.
I went to it, and it's creepy. It's like
it's real people. It's
is
like real cadavers.
Yeah, and they're sliced in like they're sliced ham. You get to see. It's like the weirdest shit in the world, man. Yeah, I left there feeling a little creepy. I'm like, this is
You gotta add one of those to your Sideshow Freak.
I will absolutely
store. But Leadheads, make sure you go and support those that make this podcast possible. Mission First Tactical, and I just told you not too long ago, guys, that I built a new 7.62 by 3.9.
Nice.
And I used Mission First Tactical's new minimalist buttstock. It's aluminum. So I was really anxious to try that out because they've got their polymer ones that are really cool.
Yeah.
And this one's just as light and it's even stronger. And I'm really digging it. It's over there. I don't know if you can see it or not.
I like MFT stuff, man. I got a lot of furniture, man.
Their grips, their furniture, their magazines, their AR magazines are really good. And what's cool is you can get like your own custom engraving on there. They'll put anything that you want on those magazines. So you can go get the Leadhead Brigade ones. You go get the regular ones. They got window mags. They just came out with an AR-10 mag now. So they've got the AR-10 mags are available. And then, of course, they're doing our dump trays. They make a lot of wallets, so they got a lot of Kydex left over.
That's cool.
And being creative and not wasteful, they started making dump trays and tactical wallets. And we got our logos on those. You can go get those too. We're having a custom one done for NRA. So NRA, we're going to be at the Kel-Tec booth. Kel-Tec is hosting the lead quarters for the Houston NRA. And I was going to show this because I got questions because the picture of you that I put up.
Yeah.
Put the a tease with the logo that we're going to be using.
Someone's like, I got the first thing you put that up. Someone hit me up. Is that a Kel-Tec 50 or something?
That's
I was like,
the P50, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm
Kel-Tec,
like, I'll be dead honest. I'm like, what? Wait, I didn't even know what. And then I saw the Kel-Tec 50. I'm like, what the hell? Look at that thing, man. That thing's awesome looking, man.
That's their new 5.7 by 2.8 millimeter badassery-ness.
Damn.
I got to shoot it in Georgia when we went down there. I got some videos posted of me shooting the P50. So this is, can you see that?
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, so I exchanged the bullet. I showed you the bullet thing there with the P50. So we're going to be using that for the shirts, the dump trays. We might even do some magazines with this new logo on it, along with Kel-Tec's 30th anniversary logo. They're celebrating their 30th anniversary this year. 30 years of Innovation Nation.
Nice.
Kel-Tec. Yeah,
I'm a big fan. I want to shoot that 50 too. I got that thing. Looks cool.
You'll like it. I think you'll really like it. It's really smooth, easily controlled, and then of course you got 50 rounds of 5.7 hate. You know,
that's what I'm talking about right there.
And it uses the same as the P90, the FN P90. It's the same magazine.
Oh, dope. That's great. That's cool.
Yeah. So they're really innovative over there. George Kellgren, the guy who started Kel-Tec.
Yeah.
The man, he actually built the Tech 9. He was one of the designers for the Tech 9.
That's cool.
Yeah. So he's really old school. But Mission First Tactical, use the code LEADHEAD. You're going to get 20% off at Mission First Tactical, any of their products there. Seal 1, this is great. You being an AK guy, you definitely want to get you some Seal 1, Jason.
All right.
Helps with corrosion, but it's a CLP, cleans, lubes, and protects. Dwight Settle was a former Navy SEAL. You may have met him. He was at the tactical games.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was out there with SEAL 1.
I wonder if I saw. I may have. I that would make me have to clean my AKs, and I'm like, well, that's what I have AKs for.
You just do it once. You know, put the protective coating on there. You know, it's going to protect against that. If you ever shoot the corrosive ammo or anything like that, it's going to help. If you want to store one, it's great for storing. But great stuff. I've been using it now for about a year, and I was like, this is great stuff. I love it, especially for my AKs. Yeah. Let's see if we can't get them on board. And Dwight was more than happy to jump on board and support Talking Lead. So I want you guys to go show him some love at seal1.net, and he's even going to give you a discount code there. It's LEADHEAD. I try to keep it the same.
Keep it the same, man. I'm down.
LEADHEAD, 25% off.
I'm actually out of like CLP, so it's time. So maybe
I'll get your.
I'm going to use that discount code though. I'm definitely going to use it.
I'll get your address. I'll hook you up. And then Nemo Arms, on that build that I did, Nemo sent me the boat carrier group for the 7.62. Yeah. And they make some. If you've not checked out Nemo Arms, Jason, you got to check them out. They make
Nemo Arms. Yeah, I'm
high-end ARs, and they've got shotguns now. Have you seen their shotguns?
I've not seen that though.
Heirloom quality.
Really?
They're really nice. They've got the engravings in there, and dude. Like,
I've always been a fan of Nemo, man, big time. Actually, I wanted to, with Straight Photography, our photo business, I wanted to work with them, man, but I never got to, man, because I love their firearms, man. I think they're great.
Yeah. Well, I can make an introduction. TL10.
Work for me. All right.
TL10, you get 10% off anything, even the firearms. They're going to give you a discount. That's unheard of in today's day and age with firearms being, like Bitcoins. They're crazy. And then ASP USA, I told you guys I was going to make a new announcement on that. They have extended their discount to you lead heads to everything. We used to be just the flashlights, which they make great dual fuel flashlights. And I've got one here, the Spectrum. It'll go through it's got the red, it's got the green, it's got the blue, and they've got all kinds of other different ones too, different sizes. But they're red guns, they're training guns. You familiar with them?
Yeah.
You're seeing one that lets you do a reload?
Oh, that's nice. Dude, look at that.
Yeah. So you can.
Is it weighted? Is it weighted just like a weighted?
Yep.
That's
weighted just like a real one. Same specs and everything. So this is a SIG. I don't know which model this is.
Right.
But they've got all kinds of different ones. They've even got ARs somewhere. Here's one. AR-15 red guns.
Nice.
Adjustable
Oh,
butt
wow.
stocks.
You can actually.
Mag.
Oh, magazines come out too.
Yeah, they're using the hex mags on these, but the mags are inert, so it's all completely safe training. It's got the rail, so you can mount your lights or whatever on there.
I love it. I love it. I've never seen a training gun like that with adjustable butt stock. That's nice.
Oh yeah.
That's
so
good.
they've got a whole slew of firearms available. I think they got pretty much everything but Glocks. They've even got knives. They got training knives, the red knives. So go there. Their handcuffs, their batons. They're famous for their batons. Code. The new code is Leadhead. Haha.
Yo, keep it standard. I love it.
It's 15% off your purchase there. Go to my website, Leadheads, because I've got a link. It's an affiliate link, and this is the only one I've ever done. But that's going to get me a little piece of the action. So that's the only way they operate. So I set it up with them. You Leadheads, I said I wouldn't do it unless they gave you a discount code, discount as well. So they did it, and you go to my website. It's on the front page. You click there, take you there, and you can get anything. It's 15% off. ASP USA, baby. And then we call it Factory 47. The code's Leadhead, 10% off. Nutrient Survival. You heard of them?
No.
So Nutrient Survival, they make basically it's survival food. So for hikers and campers, and if you want long-term food storage, they've got some really cool, tasty options here.
People don't realize how important that shit is. I mean, it's food, how it's important, but just you're going to go hike or you're going to go do something, and it's like to have something prepackaged is huge, right? Or you can like try to buy 15 different things and have it all your pack and all that stuff. I love the prepackaged stuff, man. That's something that's I dig that.
What sets these guys apart is where most of your like survival food, camping food, it's just more about calories type stuff. These guys have 14 vitamins, 14 minerals, 9 amino acids. They've got the protein, they got the omegas, they got the fiber in all of their products.
That's
and
awesome.
They taste good too. I've done a couple of videos. You guys have seen it. The triple mac and cheese, the morning scramble that they've got. It's really good.
Really?
So check them out. Nutrient Survival, Leadhead is the code. You're going to get 10% off there.
Damn.
And then Keltec doesn't have any discount codes, but we're going to have some cool shit at NRA set up for you Leadheads. So make sure if you're there, you come by, see us. We got shirts, we got trays. If you guys are going to be, at NRA?
Yeah, we're gonna go. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, let's hook up then. That'd be cool.
Definitely, man. We'll come by the booth, man, for sure.
Yeah.
Hang out.
That'd be a good time.
Floating, I think we're floating in this one because we're doing our SHOT Show stuff. We're doing podcasts with Right Time Optics, and they're setting us up, and a few other. I think Century Arms.
Right On used to be one of our sponsors.
Yeah, good guys down there and all that stuff. But NRA, we're just floating, man. So we'll be cruising around with the skill set shirts, passing out swag, doing our good stuff.
Come hang out with us at the Keltec booth. Take a load off. You guys need to hang out, get out, get out of the rush and the crowd. You come by and see us there. Yeah, and then 1776 United, they do our Leadhead Brigade patches, T-shirts, our classic logo. Am I back on the screen?
Yeah, you're on.
Okay, classic logo back here. You can go to 1776 United. The shirt I got on right now, 1776 United. They make a whole line of really cool swag for that freedom lifestyle, baby.
Oh yeah.
And that code is Talking Lead. And you can get 20% off.
Yeah. Well, all right, 20%. We'll change up the discount code.
We'll change it for a little bit more, right? A little bit more cheddar off my purchase. I'm gonna, But talkinglead@gmail.com. If you guys have any trouble with these codes, or you forget a code, you need a code, you want a code, maybe we've got other ones set up with other companies too. So just hit me up, and we'll try to get you hooked up. But as always, Leadhead, go support them, show them the love, let them know how much you appreciate them making this show possible for 10 years, baby. 10
years.
10
I got that's I got something to look up to, man. I got Damn.
Well, damn, you're already on 300 episodes. I'm on 390. I'm almost 400. So I'm only like 100 ahead of you. And
We were going twice a week for years, man.
Jeez,
Sometimes
dude.
3 times a week. I have no problem running my mouth sometimes, man.
So Leadheads, again, go and like, subscribe to our podcast. If you haven't done so, leave us comments, feedbacks on all the social medias. It helps with their algorithm bullshit, whatever that is, especially on YouTube now that we're posting the video. Really go and start watching those on the YouTubes, and we appreciate it. And have a safe Memorial weekend. And as always, Leadheads, until the next episode, keep your loved ones close.
And keep your firearms closer and go live that alpha lifestyle. Guys, do it, man, for America. Right there, baby.
Hoorah!
Yes.
Perfect. That's a good sign off.
All right.
What's y'all's normal sign off?
Huh?
Do you have a normal sign off on
No,
yours?
we don't, man. That's
You just say, fuck, that's
I
it.
see you next week, man. That's it. Yeah, I know. I probably should. I didn't even thought about that. I got my intro. The intro's been the same since day one, so I've our little banter that we go through, and I always like, man, I want to change it up, but I'm always like, it's just so tough. It's on the end of my. I already know it. It just flows. I don't need any.
It's one of those things that get you started too, like mine, where I say, all right, Leadheads. That just gets me started.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I don't feel like I can start until I do that.
100%, man.
It's not real until I do that. So.
Dude, I had a good time, man. Great show.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for being on. I'm going to try to get everything edited. I'll have the audio edited and posted tomorrow.
Okay, perfect. Oh, awesome.
The video probably like Monday or something before I can get that done.
I'll reshare Skillset Mag and all that stuff, man. So
I would greatly appreciate that. Yeah, absolutely, man. Anything you do to help push and promote us out there.
Too easy, man. Too easy.
Like I said, I made this the career choice now, so
that's good, man.
Scary, talk about scary,
Dead honest though, you're good, man. You're good at it. So that's why I know once again
have fun.
The flow that was going, there was no weird, awkward pause. I'm like, you got your shit together, man. This is great, dude. I mean, obviously you've been doing it a lot longer than me, but it's like, I love being on shows like this, man. It's just, it's easy for me. I usually can't sit on this fucking chair that I've been on for that long, man, but like 3 hours.
Oh, trust me, I take breaks, we usually take breaks, get, if it's later, I'm usually drinking, so.
Sure, yeah.
Definitely, definitely got to take breaks when I do that.
All right, cool.
Thanks, Jason.
We'll
all right,
see
man. Take care. All right, talk to you soon.